All right. Fuck me. All right. Fuck me. Hey everyone, so YouTube is stupid again. So I will be streaming on Kick right now. I'm currently live, so check out the Kick stream right now. Hopefully the YouTube thing isn't a problem for very long, but I'm on Kick right now if you want to check out the stream. Oh wait, fuck, I forgot. Hi everyone, so YouTube is being stupid again. My stream got taken down and it's not letting me live stream right now. Hopefully the thing isn't a problem for much longer and I can stream tomorrow, but right now I'm streaming on Kick. The link is in my bio for the Kick stream, so check out the link in the bio to take a look at my Kick stream. Bio for the Kick stream, so check out the link in the bio to take a look at my Kick stream. What in the fuck? Okay, just nothing works today. Yo, Green Knight, what up? And I will add that to... There we go. Oh... You would not believe what fucking happened this time. You would not believe what happened this time. Okay, yeah, the Kick thing's linked. It was, okay, you know what it might have been, actually? It might not have been the Afghanistan thing. It might have been me reacting to Sneeko. The reason they gave me for taking down the live stream was, it was either me reacting to Sneeko, carrying a firearm, like, open carrying in Florida, or it was the Afghanistan thing where the guy was shooting guns with the Taliban. Or it was the Afghanistan thing. Why does this keep unmuting? The guy was shooting guns with the Taliban. Or it was the Afghanistan... What the fuck? Dude, nothing fucking works anymore. Nothing. What is the So, yeah, what's really fucking weird, they didn't give me a channel restriction. So I'm hoping this is like just a 24-hour thing. Like, worst case scenario, they don't let me stream for a week. Like, worst case. But, yeah, basically, I was reacting to a video where somebody had a firearm. And then they took my stream down for that. Because somebody was carrying a gun. Because somebody was carrying a gun.
Why does it keep unmuting?
Because some... Oh my god. All right. What a day. What a day. But yeah, of all the fucking reasons, just... just... There are... It's like there's just somebody with puppet strings that's controlling the universe right now that's just trying to irritate me. But yeah, the reason my fucking YouTube stream was taken down was because I was reacting to firearm content. That was on YouTube. That was on YouTube. Why does it keep... I have the thing paused. I have it paused, by the way, and I mute it, and then it unpauses and unmutes. Okay, I'm just gonna click that off. Yeah, it's that bad. The good news is I didn't get a strike on my channel. It literally fucking says on my dashboard, no strike. It says appeal rejected, of course, because it's an AI. Your content was removed due to violation of community guidelines. We realize you may not have known this was a violation, so you did not get a warning or a strike. So no, it's one of those things where they're at least remotely reasonable. I don't have a strike on my account. They didn't even give me a warning. They're just like, you know, it's just one of our gay rules. Sorry, we're gay, but, you know, it's something we got to do, I guess. But they're not letting me live stream right now. What I'm assuming is, like, maybe it's just a thing that will go away after a few hours, or maybe it's a 24-hour thing. Like, usually, worst case with these things, it's a week that I can't stream on YouTube, but you only get banned from live streaming for one single week if you get a strike. I don't have a strike, so I'm assuming this is something that's going to clear up either within a few hours or within 24 hours or something like that. So tomorrow night, I should be able to stream. Hopefully, because otherwise, like, there should be no restriction from live streaming because they didn't give me any strike. So I think when they take down a stream, even though it's not a guideline thing, they just stop you from streaming temporarily. But it says right there, no strike and no warning. So, like, they're admitting, yeah, this is a gay rule, sorry. Like, any fucking reasonable person who isn't an unhinged whack job would know this is stupid. But, yeah, like, we're sorry, we still have to take it down. But it's not letting me live stream, but, like, holy mother of a fuck, dude. It's just,
Are you vegan?
It never ends. It never fucking ends. I'm just fucking chilling, not reacting to anything, like, out there, and then there goes my fucking stream, because gay. Somebody, like, I didn't even show anyone violating the law, and they still took the fucking stream down. And they're not letting me stream right now for that, because firearm content. So that's wonderful. Now I have to be careful not to show any firearm content on stream, which is a little easier said than done, but, you know. Wow. Clav said he's not taking meth anymore and recommends against it. Well, that's good. He definitely shouldn't be taking meth.
Do you need high protein meals? Do you not have a lot? of time and you don't want to spend a lot of money, this video is for you. In the next 30 minutes or less, because that's literally all the time I have, I'm going to show you how I'm going to make all of my meals for today, show you how to make them high protein, make them super simple, that literally anyone, whether or not you know how to cook, if you can use a microwave and a rice cooker, you can do this. We need to be. I'll see you in this video and show you exactly what I'm going to eat. Just so you guys know, I'm not going to put the exact measurements on the screen because I don't really want you guys to get locked into this. None of you, I mean, I doubt any of you guys are a 255, 260 pound vegan bodybuilder. You're probably not.
Yeah, I think it's just for a day, bro. You might be good. Yeah, it should be fine. Still highly annoying, but... You get unflavored creatine? Like, isn't that how creatine is made, unflavored? I've never seen flavored creatine, unless it's, like, added to a pre-workout. I got banned years ago for some strange reasons. Once you get the YouTube streams back up and running, could you unban me, mate? Sure, just, give me a link to your channel, and I can do that. No, someone doesn't own or manage my channel anymore. I used to be with a network, but I'm not anymore. You sent a dono through Streamlabs last minute. I got a few. I can play them again.
Hey man. Even though I disagree with you on a lot of things, especially as a Christian, I genuinely hope you're doing well in life. You seem to be in a good mood. How are you, my guy? Thoughts on the girl that slapped clavicular? Hope you're doing well, man. Some Misfits Ments, featuring Christina Broccolini.
Let me take a look. Thanks for the donation, nigga. I'm doing well overall, thank you. I have no idea if the person who donated that's even listening, but, yeah. I got a little upset over the YouTube thing just now, but I'm doing fine overall. The girl who slapped clavicular is a dumb bitch. That's all there is to it. Hopefully she gets charged with simple assault. You know, that's usually all those things are, but... I'm doing good. Thanks for the donation, Mac Daddy.
YouTube is honestly a fucking disgrace of a website. I honestly think it's best if you never go back VG.
Yeah, but then I make less money, so, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo. Hopefully I just win the lottery.
We're 3 weeks into Trump's war with Iran and there's still no end in sight. They're still shooting rockets into neighboring countries. Still have the Strait of Hormuz under their control. This has been an abject failure so far. You said it'd take 5 to 6 days.
It's not an abject failure. Never said it would take 5 or 6 days. Thanks for the donation, stupid. Hey, $22. Can we watch a few minutes of this? The leader of the PAC military said anyone who supporting Iran can fuck off to Iran, and they were firing on pro-Iran riots in PAC, so PAC does it, but not the West.
So, Armin, there's a development that happened
Okay, I'll take a look at that. Thanks for the donation, dude. Lenny Mintz. All right, I'll just
in
watch
my
this first.
country, in Pakistan, that I thought I'll bring to your attention. So, the army chief, like he was also the field marshal of the armed forces, but the top dog in the country, basically had Shia clerics come over for iftar, okay, and he had them sit in front of them, and basically told them that if your loyalties and if you're so loyal to Iranian regime, you can just fuck off to Iran.
Whoa. Wait, who is this guy?
He's the field marshal, the top dog in the country, like the army chief, like you know
In
the
Pakistan? Why would somebody be loyal to the Islamic Republic? Like I don't
Oh,
can you give me some
there are a
context?
lot of so when Khamenei died, violence broke out in Pakistan, the cities.
I
So they were beating themselves up bloody about the death of Khamenei, right? And so that means
Yeah,
they are putting like
I thought that was from some like some people, not the government itself.
no,
I
no,
didn't
it was
think
not
that
the government, it was the Shias in Pakistan.
I know,
They were
but who is this guy now? Is this guy that you're talking about? He's from the government, right?
Yeah, he's from the government. He's basically
So, but
telling the Shia community of Pakistan, their clerics.
oh, I see. Now I understand.
It's white guilt, dude. Um, it's white guilt nonsense and Chinese propaganda. That's why you see all these left-wing fucktards in particular that like say Islamophobia. Oh, it's Islamophobic to say like go back to your own country or whatever. Like that's all it is. Like obviously when you go to Pakistan or India or Saudi Arabia or the UAE, all of them like fucking hate Iran. And they'll just say, if you like Iran so much, go fucking live there. Like, you're a fucking piece of shit. They're all terrorists and crap like that. It's only here with the white guilt commie bullshit on the left. Why are we attacking Iran? It's Islamophobic. And then they'll apologize for it. Maybe the only reason Iran is paying for terrorists is because we attacked their country first. So, like, it's just communist infiltration into the left-wing political sphere. They've spread this idea of white guilt. There's a long, long history of them doing that. You can look at the political situation in Rhodesia, where, basically white British were trying to hold the country of Rhodesia and keep it like a British colony. And it became this like big international thing about racism and white colonialism and all this crap. That was all propaganda coming from China and the Soviet Union at the time. And it worked. They spread this idea of white guilt through the UK. And then Rhodesia didn't get the military support it needed. And then sure enough, communist-backed African rebels ended up defeating the Rhodesian military and they took over the country and now it's a fucking shithole that nobody wants to live in. Everyone's worse off, including the blacks that lived there. Same thing happened in South Africa with Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela was a fucking communist. People say he was nonviolent. That's just a load of bullshit. That was, I actually thought this for a while too. He absolutely resorted to supporting violent attacks against both whites and blacks against the South African government at the time. He was backed by the Chinese and the Soviets, and he himself was a fucking communist. Same fucking thing. And then sure enough, when they got rid of the apartheid and the ANC government took over, country became an absolute shithole. So this is what they do. This whole idea of white guilt, it's a communist fucking psyop, and it's worked.
Freudian slip.
Yeah, I only learned about this fairly recently. Nelson Mandela would even kill other anti-apartheid groups. He was just a communist fucking fascist.
Then why do so many liberals love Nelson Mandela so much?
Because they're fucking commies. That's the only reason. Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo.
Christina! Christina, I love you! Christina!
Hello, Christina from Milan. I haven't forgot about you. I was watching a show recently.
Yeah.
I saw an individual that just came in and reached into my soul in a way that I can't describe. I'm trying to figure it out. Her name is Christina Broccolini. I couldn't, you know what's going through my mind? The whole time was just her spirit, how it would transcend normal emotions, how she brought out that emotion in me. She's an actress and a movie producer from Canada.
Really weird. I think he got obsessed with her when he watched that TV series she was in when she was like 16. Mystery Hunters? Yeah, Mystery Hunters. Which is really weird considering Lenny's age, but we know he's kind of a degenerate. I remember when I was a kid, like, the show sucked. Like, this was a really bad kid's show, but, I think by, like, the second or third season, she became more developed, you know, puberty. And then I remember I noticed she had, like, a nice ass, and then I watched that show when I was a kid. Because, you know, she's cute. But Lenny's kind of a freak.
And she actually spoke to my soul on this show called Mystery Hunters, which was a rerun. I saw a few clips from her from the club scene short film she did, and it just took off from there. So I just like to give her a shout. She's a new inspiration. And if I give the seed for Christina, that means that's for you. And our souls have been intertwined since the beginning of eternity till the end.
What would you do to her if she actually showed up and you
I'd
met her?
probably start crying. Ah! Come on, Christina, that's for you. Ah! Well, on a serious note, I'd like to recognize
I wonder if Christina Broccolini knows about Big Lenny.
Montreal, Canada's finest. And I'm not talking about the Canadiens or the Alouettes. I'm talking about Christina Brock.
I never thought Hillary Duff was hot. Hillary Duff. Yeah, I never. Not my thing. Never thought she was pretty or anything. She's conventionally attractive, but I mean, just doesn't do it for me. I've never found her attractive.
Her birthday, Monday, June 8th. Since my tablet's down, if all you misfit maniacs could get on her webpage, Amazon.com, Walmart.com, look on the webpage Kickstarter. Anything Christina produces, consider that a charitable contribution, as I will be doing myself. And if you want to, we'll have a short film with me as a co-star. Christina and Andrew here can co-direct. And you guys can fund it. We'll talk about that in the future if you want to see it. Wish her a very happy birthday from Big Lenny.
And you know her birthday is in March, not June, right?
I don't know.
A bunch of the fans, viewers looked it up and they corrected it in the last video.
Why, she got irritated by it?
I don't know if she got irritated by it.
I apologize.
Fuck this shit. Let's train legs.
Right now. One thing I think would be great if Christina Broccolini, the finest film producer in the world,
here we go,
can do a co-project with Andrew, maybe a short film or whatever. I think that's why I sort of connected with her in that way, because there's something that's in the works. You know how the mind works, where sometimes you think about things and it happens. It's happened to me on a few occasions.
Well,
and I think this may be one of them. If you could, Team Broccolini could get in touch with Andrew. Come on, Christina.
All she has to do is go to the Facebook fan page or message me privately on Facebook.
Yeah, I'll do anything. I'll do it for free, any role you want.
Got it.
Because you're my angel and my inspiration, Christina. And when I do my big, intense sets, when I get up the C sign, that means that's for you.
Sure it doesn't stand for cross-dresser, that C?
Well, if she wants me to do it, one of her short films, I'm up for anything.
No.
Whatever she says. Today is my new holiday. Birthday of Christina Broccolini.
Oh,
June
Jesus.
8th. What can I say? She's an angel and an inspiration.
What a fucking weirdo.
Exact name brand. And even if you were a nobody trying to sell a name brand.
He was totally obsessed with Christina Broccolini. Really weird.
So you're going to need to make this work for you. I'm going to drop my cookbook down below. You can get that for free. People just under-season stuff, and that's why they don't think the vegan grams of water for every gram of rice. You put 100 grams of rice, do 200 grams of water. So say so.
The night shift at a cash depot in Sweden. She's counting banknotes, tons of money. But by now it's just pieces of paper to her. Routine, really. Just like these headphones she and the others are wearing to block out the noise. But suddenly a new sound starts to creep in. Wait, is that a helicopter? This is the beginning of one of the most spectacular bank heists in history. Robbers will strike several locations across Sweden at the exact same time. The police will be outmatched, the authorities humiliated, and millions in cash will be stolen. The chase will lead investigators to Eastern Europe. And, of all things, the security camera at a local McDonald's will provide a crucial clue. We dug through countless court documents to piece together how the Vestberga heist actually went down, and who was really behind it. September 23, 2009. Spectacular robberies in Sweden have been making headlines for several years now, but this heist tops everything. As the international press turns its attention to the small town of Vestberga, the authorities are clueless. How much money was stolen? How many robbers were involved? And why couldn't the police stop them? According to a Swedish daily newspaper, police didn't reach the cash depot until 30 minutes after the alarm was triggered. Meanwhile, the nearest police station is only a 15-minute walk away. What happened? Official statements are vague. The security company that owns the cash depot stays quiet too. G4S is one of the largest security firms in the world. They install security systems and protect sites such as nuclear power plants in the US and even the Pentagon. Right before the end of the month, depots like this one are packed with cash, so people across Sweden can withdraw their salaries the moment the money arrives. A pretty good time to strike. So far, only one thing is clear. This is the first robbery in Sweden to use a helicopter, a Bell 206. It's a relatively small light chopper, one of the best-selling models ever. It can carry 5 people, including the pilot, but it isn't built for heavy loads. A well-known Swedish criminologist speculates that the robbers could have stolen up to 1 billion kroner from the depot. Back then, about $130 million. Helicopter experts, on the other hand, say that carrying that much cash, it should have crashed. So how the hell did they pull this off? September 23, the early morning hours. Mittinge, a small town known.
Google Amanda Bynes in her prime. No. Not pretty. Like, she's not a girl that I ever would have paid any attention to. And she's fucked up now. Like, she's really fucked up now. So, yeah, she went insane.
For its sea views and peaceful atmosphere, is asleep. Alongside holiday homes, the town also has a hangar, housing these 2 helicopters. They belong to the Stockholm police. And this man sneaking through the bushes has his eye on them. Under each arm, he's carrying a plastic box. The man places the first box in front of the hangar. Then he moves to the back and places the second one. Then he returns to the hangar's entrance and pulls out a hatchet. He smashes the numbered entry pad several times. Finally, he disappears back into the darkness. And then, nothing happens. The man walks to the nearest bus stop and gets rid of his gear. His part of the job is done. Now it's up to the others.
So it looks like a bomb.
Back at the depot. Down here, Jenny and her colleagues are counting cash. Up here, a Bell 206 barrels toward the building. With remarkable precision, it lands on the roof, perfectly positioned between the glass pyramid and the edge. 3 people jump out. One is carrying a submachine gun. Another runs straight toward the pyramid and swings a huge sledgehammer at the glass. Again and again. Meanwhile, his accomplice calmly unloads his gear. Explosives, climbing ropes, and mail
Dude, this is some Rainbow Six Vegas shit.
bags. 2 ladders are attached to the helicopter's skids. The robbers detach one of them and set it down beside the chopper. After a few more swings, the glass gives way. The helicopter lifts off. The robbers enter the building. Yenny's boss spots them. He knows they're coming for the counting room, so he rushes back and yells,
Secure the money.
Then he triggers the alarm and calls building security. Yenny still doesn't fully clock what's going on, but her boss's instructions are clear. The cash has to be locked away in these cages, made of reinforced steel, secured with padlocks. It's still quiet at the police station, about a 10-minute drive from Vestberga. Inspector Guran Palm is about to finish his shift. He's waiting for his colleague to take over. When suddenly, the alarm sounds. Immediately, Inspector Palm rushes to his car. A colleague jumps in after him. They're told that the alarm came from the G4S cash depot. Helicopter, armed men, on the roof. Palm speeds toward the scene. He feels like...
Functional vegan, how so I chat with you? I think I have content. Worth content. I don't know what you mean by that. But just message me on Insta. If you want to talk about something, or I don't know, do you have a YouTube channel and want to collab or some shit? But yeah.
he's starring in a Hollywood movie. Soon, they're closing in on the depot when Palm spots something on the road. The officers jump out of the car to find out what just happened. Chains, stretched across the entire road and studded with spikes. The robbers are inside the building now. They set up a ladder to climb up to the 6th floor. The main vault where the money is usually stored is on the 2nd floor, but the counting room is up here. To get there, this glass pane needs to go. Hitting it with a sledgehammer doesn't work, so the robber uses explosives. He presses a bomb made of dynamite against the glass, connects a wire, and detonates it. They enter the office and smash through this simple door. Now, just a single steel door separates the robbers from the cash depot's staff. In the counting room, the staff is still frantically securing the money. When they hear the explosion, they panic. The team leader has been trained for a lot of things, but not for this. Then there's another explosion. The robbers are trying to get through the door. The explosion mangles the metal around the handle, but it stays intact. But after a third explosion, smoke enters the room. The staff needs to get out of here, fast. The team leader orders everyone into the main vault on the 2nd floor. They leave the room through a secondary exit, take the stairs down several floors, and enter an airlock just outside the main vault. The airlock is designed for one person. Now 14 people have to squeeze inside, including a pregnant woman. In this hermetically sealed room, there's no cell reception. The group leader can't call building security or anyone else. And the door to the vault won't open. They're stuck. Their colleagues in the vault room are also panicking. Building security has instructed them to keep the airlock door closed. They have no visual on the robbers. Maybe they're even hiding among the employees in the airlock. It's so cramped in here that no one can move. The air is stuffy, the heat almost unbearable. Yenny's colleague struggles to pull out a photo of her daughter. If the robbers want to get into the vault by blowing their way through the airlock, no one here will survive. Meanwhile, the robbers have entered the counting room. They carve into the cage's padlocks with a buzzsaw. The locks are gone within seconds. While they're packing, they seem oddly calm, as if they know that no one will catch them anytime soon. Robbing a place is a pretty unethical way to make money. But let's look at this list real quick. Rural and barely making it. Or this one, ethnic, the QR code to get started. The spiked chains Palm drove.
No, I wouldn't play Crimson Desert. One, that's one of the most overhyped, stupid-ass games I've ever fucking seen, and it was getting fairly mixed reviews when it first launched. This seems to be made for dumbass people with no time.
It's time.
What's the name? Game Ranks or whatever. They said like the first 8 hours of the game sucks because it's basically an 8-hour tutorial. Whenever I hear something like that, it's like, oh, the people who made the game don't know how to make a game. If you need to spend 8 hours like basically making some drawn out tutorial that's slow and stupid, you literally do not know how to make a video game. You can just slowly introduce mechanics in a fun way that isn't boring and stupid. Like The Witcher 3. When you first get started with the game, it's not boring and fucking stupid. It just slowly, like, you know, introduces you to mechanics through just the mission structure of the fucking game. And I've seen the gameplay. It just looks boring as shit. The open world looks cool and everything, but, I mean, who cares? So, it's just some, like, stupid time-wasting bullshit fucking RPG. I'm not playing this crap.
Into aren't the only ones. All around the depot, every access road is blocked by metal chains about 10 meters long. If a police car drove over one of these chains, its tires would instantly be sliced open. The robbery's been in progress for more than 15 minutes now. The helicopter's still circling above, meaning the robbers are still inside. Police request aerial support from the military, but the armed forces can't provide any aircraft. Instead, police helicopters are ordered in. We don't know exactly how, but Inspector Palm eventually gets close to the depot. He sets up a roadblock a few hundred meters away from the building. When Palm and his colleagues ask whether they're allowed to fire at the helicopter, the answer is a strict no. It's too dangerous. Instead, they're ordered to wait for the National Task Force. Palm is frustrated. All he can do is stand there and wait. Luckily, a police helicopter must already be on its way. Or is it?
Nope.
At 5:30 in the morning, police officers in Mittinga receive an alert. Robbery ongoing, a helicopter is involved. Air support required. 2 officers race toward the hangar. Their helicopter was returned just hours earlier. They'll have it ready in 10 minutes and be over Vestberga 15 minutes after the alarm. But at the entrance, they stop. Is that a bomb? There's no way they can reach the helicopter. And even if they could they really risk taking off in a fuel-filled helicopter next to explosives? The 2 officers have only one option: call in the bomb squad and wait at a safe distance. So the White Bell 206 keeps circling above the cash depot, unbothered. The security team watches as the intruders reappear in the courtyard and make their way toward the roof, carrying at least 7.
Dude, I just love good bank heists. They're just so cool.
Bags. They hoist them up. The 3 men climb the ladders. One hesitates for a moment, as if he wants to go back in to get more of the money. Then they jump into the helicopter, bags in hand. And just 30 minutes after hitting the cash depot, they disappear into the morning sky. When the SWAT team enters the building, the robbers are long gone. Finally, the airlock door in the cash depot opens. The team leader, Jenny, and her colleagues are safe. At the police hangar in Mittinga, the bomb squad is in full swing. They use a water cannon to neutralize the bombs. But there are no explosions and no smoke. As the special unit approaches, they find 2 very wet plastic boxes with lights attached. They fell for dummies. Meanwhile, about a kilometer away, firefighters are putting out a small roadside fire at a bus stop. In the ashes, they find remains of a mask, gloves, a hatchet, a canister, and a lighter. Around 6 a.m., people in nearby towns spot an object in the sky. A small white helicopter flying unusually low and slow over the forests. Not a single light is on. The robbers land in a forested park. They take everything with them, leaving only a GPS device and a few cable ties behind. Investigators find the helicopter about 2 hours later. They learn it was stolen from a flight school about 70 kilometers northeast of Stockholm just after 4 a.m.
A manhunt is underway this morning.
As the country wakes up, the heist dominates the news.
Help, I don't want to go to work tomorrow or ever. Well, check your lottery tickets.
A reward of about $900,000 is offered for information on the robbers. The next day, the Swedish police still have no suspects, despite the fact that they knew about the planned helicopter heist long before it happened. A month before the heist, Swedish police receive a warning from Serbia's intelligence service. A crew of international thieves is planning to strike. Serbian police even share specifics. A helicopter is to be used. 3 robbers will carry out the job, backed by a group of around 20 people. The chopper will land on the roof of a multi-story building. The crew will blast their way inside and in under 5 minutes grab the equivalent of roughly $13 million. The whole thing will go down by September 16 at the latest. If not, the plan will be called off. The Swedish police put security measures in place. The public prosecutor authorizes phone surveillance of 2 suspects. As a precaution, police helicopters are moved from Ittinga to a safe location. For the planned break-in, the police identify the most likely target, the Panaxia Cash Depot in Bromma, in western Stockholm. The second most likely target, the G4S Depot in Vesberga. For 4 weeks, authorities remain on high alert, reinforcing their task forces during the nights around September 16. But then, nothing happens, in Bromma or in Vesberga. So the police end the special operation, and the police helicopters move back to Mittinga. That's not the only vulnerability the robbers exploit. In the early 2000s, Sweden sees a string of robberies. The companies hit hardest are the ones that run cash depots. They're looking for help, including from the government. As early as 2005, a security company urged the government to place all cash depots and similar facilities under state protection. A formal review followed and ran for 3 years, but the Ministry of Defense took no action. Because the authorities never classified these facilities as protected sites, virtually anyone can access the building's blueprints. Floor plans of the roofs and facades, staircases and windows, everything neatly documented level by level. A Swedish news outlet later asked G4S whether the company had attempted to make the Vesberga building plans confidential. G4S didn't respond. But by then, it didn't matter. The money was gone, and so were the thieves. But they didn't vanish without a trace. In fact, they left quite a bit behind. The burned remains at the bus stop in Mittinga, for example.
I might do dual streams on Kick from now on. I think YouTube now has like a dual stream feature. There might be a dual stream feature baked into OBS now too. But the thing on YouTube right now, I'm not banned. I didn't receive any strike on my channel. They just took down my live stream. But I showed everyone, I didn't get a strike. They literally even fucking said in the notification they gave me that there's no way I could have fucking known that what I was reacting to was against community guidelines. Your content was removed due to a violation of our community guidelines. We realize you may not have known this was a violation, so you did not get a warning or a strike. They didn't even give me a warning. So there should not be any restrictions on my account. It's just not letting me live stream right now, and I think it's just because they have like some feature where if a live stream gets taken down, like at least for a few hours, they won't let you start up another live stream. So I'm assuming tomorrow night I'll be able to stream no problem. Or maybe even in the afternoon I'll be able to stream. And the email they sent me was the same thing. They just mentioned specifically it was about the firearm content that I was reacting to. Yeah, we think your content violated our firearms policy. Content that shows someone live streaming while holding, handling, or transporting a firearm isn't allowed on YouTube. So I think it was from reacting to Sneeko, where he was walking around in Florida with a firearm in the appendix carry. Whoopee fucking diddly do, right? Like, it's fucking insane. I gotta go take a piss. I'll be right back. But that has to be the dumbest one yet. The stupidest fucking thing to get my live stream taken down. Like, holy mother of a fuck. You gotta be kidding me. Imagine. They're fine with people literally calling for the fucking death of Israel, spreading like Hamas, Iranian, Chinese, Russian propaganda. But somebody legally carrying a fucking firearm, that's what gets my stream taken down. Fuck me. I'm just gonna go take a piss though. I'll be right back. Oh. All right. No, Gig isn't a mod, but the AI mod thing they have works pretty well. Like, they don't let you spam or anything, so... Can I react to NPC Oblivion? I could.
Example, the cable ties used to secure the ladders to the helicopter, the sledgehammer that smashed the glass roof, including bloodstains.
YouTube takes a 30% cut for the YouTube Super Chats, but I use Streamlabs, so they don't take any cut from Streamlabs. You'd have to be an idiot to use YouTube Super Chats. See what the mods look like for Requiem. Hey, Uzi, Freya's Needle. That one's kind of cool. It's one of those weird Franken pistols. Kukri hatchet. Some sexy Grace mods. Hey, Gum Gum. Oh. Hey, kitty. Yeah, that's a good boy.
Because the heist was so meticulously planned, police believe the masterminds must have had military...
No, I'm pretty sure it was from me reacting to Sneeko. It was either Sneeko or the Taliban video. That's it.
...training. In all of Sweden, only a small circle of people could be capable of pulling off a coup like this. Thanks to the warning from Serbia, the Swedish police started surveilling this circle in time. Now they're sitting on a mountain of data, calls, texts, pages upon pages of logs. One of the people under surveillance is a man called Goran Bojovic, a 38-year-old Swede with parents.
Who's hotter, Grace or Ashley? Definitely Ashley. Grace is a really pretty cute girl, but Ashley has a more smoking body.
From Montenegro. Until recently, he worked as a construction contractor. According to Serbian wiretaps, he was recently in contact with a childhood friend, Milan Zevo, who made a career in a completely different field, the Stockholm Mafia. Zevo has since relocated to Serbia's capital, Belgrade. In 2009, Bojovic traveled to Belgrade multiple times to meet Zevo. According to the wiretap, Bojovic handed over large sums of money during these visits. Swedish police realized that Bojovic is asking Zevo for help. At the end of August, the two speak on the phone. You know what? I called a school here and asked how much it costs to learn it. 15,000 euros. Bojovic wants to learn to fly a helicopter. Zevo shuts the idea down. Pilot training would take way too long. So Bojovic starts looking into another solution. It's September 2, 3 weeks before the heist. Bojovic is in his car, driving toward Hepsholmen, a small island in Stockholm. It has a museum right on the waterfront. Bojovic is here to meet...
Yeah, I still take steroids. Why would I stop? And I'm planning on doing some bodybuilding shows.
These two men. They've been waiting for him. He walks up to them and sits down between them. Just a few meters away, a woman walks her dog. Her real job is to observe Goran Bojovic.
I've got Discord.
She can't hear exactly what the men are saying. She can only keep an eye on them. The three chat for about 5 minutes with Bojovic doing most of the talking. Then, handshakes. One man walks with Bojovic to his car while the other gets into a Peugeot and drives off. On September 28, 5 days after the heist, the police and a Swedish court announced that 6 suspects have been arrested. One of the suspects is Goran Bojovic. Searching his apartment, investigators found a bag containing about 118,500 kroner, roughly $15,000 at the time. He's believed to have put the team together. Another man is arrested at Arlanda Airport just before he can escape to the Canary Islands. The press nicknames him Flykt, which means escape in Swedish. His real name is Alexander Eriksson. He's a TV producer who runs in high society circles with Swedish celebrities. He's even rumored to be in contact with the Prime Minister. Between October and December, police arrest 7 more men accused of helping plan or taking part in the heist. One of them is believed to have planted the fake bombs. His DNA is found in the remains of the gloves and the lighter. In January, investigators identified the man who carried the submachine gun. The police already know him. His name is Zara Kadum, and this was his second armed robbery. Back in 2000, he and a gang stole invaluable art from the Swedish National Museum. He was caught and served 2 years in prison. Now he's been caught again. In July 2010, the public prosecutor presses charges. While the 10 arrests are seen as a major success for the investigation, authorities believe there must have been more people involved behind the scenes. For over 10 months, the police gather evidence and interview witnesses. 50 investigators work the case full-time. By now, they have a clear picture of how much the robbers managed to steal. Almost 40 million kroner, about $5 million at the time. That's how they managed to get away by helicopter, not taking too much. Just under a year after the robbery, the 10 men stand trial. 5 of them are accused of being directly involved in the heist. The other 5 face charges of aiding and abetting. The public prosecutor is confident there's enough evidence to convict all of them. But the men deny the charges. Take Alexander Eriksson, the TV producer. He's accused of flying the helicopter on the night of the heist. No way, he insists. His DNA in the stolen helicopter? That's easily explained, he says. After all, the chopper was stolen from the flight school he's been a member of for 15 years. The undercover officer at the museum clearly identifies him as the man in the suit at the meeting with Boyevich. Eriksson admits he was at the meeting. And yes, he talked to Boyevich, but about wind power, since Boyevich works in construction. He claims to have an alibi, too. On the night of the heist, he was involved in a car accident.
Hell yeah. Reasonable doubt. It's a great thing.
But there's a problem. An hour after the supposed accident, he's spotted at a local McDonald's, about a 30-minute walk from where the helicopter was later found. Surveillance footage shows Eriksson calmly ordering breakfast just before 7 a.m. How did he get from a car crash in central Stockholm to a McDonald's in the suburbs? The prosecution is convinced that 2 of the other defendants staged the crash to give him an alibi. Surprisingly, one of them, Zara Kadum, admits his involvement. Investigators found his blood on multiple pieces of evidence. The other defendants continued to deny any involvement in the heist. But after just 18 days of trial, 7 of the 10 defendants.
Nicotine can raise blood pressure. It has a vasoconstrictive effect. It entirely depends on your own personal genetic response. I've tested my blood pressure on and off nicotine. I've been off nicotine for 2 months. My blood pressure has been 110/70. I'm back on it again now. It's still 110/70. I'm pretty resistant to blood pressure changes from practically anything, so it entirely depends.
Are convicted. Alexander Eriksson and Zara Kadum are each sentenced to 7 years in prison for armed robbery. The other 5 defendants are found guilty of aiding, abetting, and protecting criminals, including Goran Boyevich, who also goes to prison. Before the trial, they were seen as daring, clever crooks. None of them were elite soldiers in the Balkan Wars, as was speculated. But the trial stripped them of their mystique. They turned out to be nothing more than a ragtag group of violent criminals. After the heist, heated debate broke out in Sweden over how such attacks could be prevented in the future. Trade unions spoke out. Handling cash creates a dangerous work environment for employees. So, for their protection, maybe they should just get rid of it. According to a report from the banking union, 1 in 4 retail workers had already been a victim of a robbery, some multiple times. And according to an anti-cash lobby group, 2 out of every 3 Swedish kroner in circulation was actually unreported money. The helicopter heist in Vesberga contributed to a shift in thinking. Over time, cash gradually disappeared from daily life. Sweden was the first country in Europe to print paper money back in 1661. About 350 years later, it was one of the first to start abandoning it. The number of robberies in Sweden dropped dramatically. In 2008, there were over 100. By 2016, it was down to just 2. Today, many shops only accept cashless payment. Theft happens online now. In 2025, the Swedish Central Bank reported that Sweden and Norway had the least cash in circulation relative to their economies of any countries in the world. But some cash is still around, and
That sounded like a really smart heist. It's kind of funny how these little things end up getting them caught. NPC archivist.
Somebody help!
You won't get away with... Stop right there, criminal scum!
The NPC Archivist is back, this time in OBS Studio, bringing you a little bit higher quality of a video than...
I'm done! Shut the fuck up!
Huh?
Who's asking? Who's asking?
No, I haven't played Oblivion Remastered.
Are you done? Fuck off, bastard!
If you touch me, I'll fuck you up. Don't do it.
I am done, but
Don't
you
do
better
it.
quit pushing the button.
Don't do it.
Don't push my button.
Don't do it.
I'm done.
Don't
for
touch
you.
me.
I'm
Don't
done.
touch me.
I'm done, but don't talk to me again.
Hey! No, bro!
Hey, don't make me just get up and smack me upside my head, bitch. You got a problem? Smack me upside my head. Don't tell me shit. Smack my head. Say, bitch.
Get slapped in the head. I will slap this up your head. This is a fucking transport.
Get up and do it. Don't threaten me, man. Fucking pussy, bitch.
Uh-oh, you got a real one coming for you.
This is why you don't fast travel with hag ravens. This next entry we're going to see in this compilation features some pretty indistinguishable dialogue options, but sometimes you can't really do much more than just let them play out.
My window wet. My window's wet. I see that Dr. Wolf, that I'd be fat. Hello, darling.
We'll have to get there.
Nice to see you.
We're gonna have to
Been
get there.
a long time, you just love.
Yeah, those are some meth teeth if I've ever seen them.
Hey, come on, your wallet on the head, me neither. Don't feel the sun drop over there. To feel good. Yeah, let's do it.
I should be recording this.
Let's see it.
That's what we should be doing. So we can show you later when you don't believe us. You can't crawl in there.
So later.
Do you?
Yeah, be right here.
Hopefully mayonnaise though.
Mayo! Oh, mayo! Oh, mayo, mayo, mayo.
Where's the mayo?
Right here!
Go past it. Right there. Bitch said, let me drink Bravo.
A hag raven with ranks in illusion is dangerous indeed.
I'm a former military mustache.
Really?
I'm also a retired deputy sheriff at county.
Really?
I'm an Episcopalian pastor and a dog training, pastor baiting, motherfucking slut.
What?
Yes, I'm a whore.
Well, you're a cop? This is just a whore.
What
Okay.
this?
That's tight.
Not like it.
Okay.
You know what? You can walk.
You know what? You're carrying a lady. You have a CD player, and you got money, girl. Why are you getting closer to me?
I'll get my father right now.
And my father has many mansions. How about that?
Okay, you know what? I can call somebody right now.
I can call Jesus.
Okay, I don't believe in Jesus. So
Oh, that's that spirit in you. Come on out. Get away from me.
get my father right now.
Get away. I don't. My father's already here. He's omnipresent. He's present. He's a present help in the time of trouble. You're distressed.
I'm very can get somebody right now that can take.
I can call on Jesus. He answers prayer. Go back to where you came from. You gone. You go and be great with your lavender. Get away.
What?
I'm waiting for my friend.
Who's your friend?
I don't know. They sent me the address. I'm in the neighborhood.
Who's here?
Where are you living?
I don't know if this clavicular guy, like, he doesn't come off to me as somebody stupid. And I don't think I've seen him give any take where I'm like, man, that's just retarded. But he has a value around this looks maxing thing.
That's just retarded if you think you need to give a take on every single subject without doing any research.
Not acceptable. That was a critical oral loss.
Oh, sorry about that. I know we're getting started. How are you?
I'm good. So for those who don't know, can you tell us your name and kind of what you do?
I am clavicular. I do live streaming. I hop on a variety of podcasts to talk about sort of my philosophy on why looks are arguably one of the most important things in terms of your success in life.
And what do you mean by that?
Well, what I basically mean is every single trait of yours is going to be perceived differently according to your looks level, right? So if you're super caged in and shy, but you're good looking, that will be perceived a lot different rather than if you were, you know, an acne-ridden, balding jester and you stay inside all day. People will call you a recluse, they'll call you weird, whatever. So even though the actions are the complete same. So that's what I'm talking about here.
You mentioned puberty in that developmental period. That's
Correct.
also like right around the time that you got into all these communities.
Right.
How was that experience for you? Because it's a strange experience as like a young dude to go from being basically like a kid to a little baby man.
Well, you have the most control over your body while all those growth pathways are still open, right? So your growth plates remain unfused. So you can really do a lot with something like an aromatase inhibitor to prevent this process, not prevent, slow it down as much as possible, because estrogen is actually what causes you to stop growing. That's why boys are taller than girls, right? So we're blocking our testosterone from converting into estradiol, and that allows us to have that longer growth period. And
Is that true? I'm sure there's like a...
Yes, that is true, dumbass. That's why people who are castrated as kids, they end up growing freakishly, ridiculously tall. So eunuchs, you can look at photos of eunuchs. You can look at bones, remains of people who were eunuchs when they were kids, that were castrated when they were kids. Their growth plates basically never fuse, and they just end up growing weirdly tall, and they have like odd proportions.
A degree of truth to that, but if you gave like an estrogen suppressor or whatever to women, will they always grow on average as tall as boys? I thought that there was a little bit more at play there.
Combine that with other mechanisms like taking HGH, and you'll get a lot taller than you otherwise would. Like a lot more people will actually end up detrimenting themselves because people these days are lazy. They don't want to research. They don't want to actually do things properly. You know, take the steps that are actually necessary to have success.
Yeah.
So it's really just about that.
I think people are scared to make friends now too. Screen time's at an all-time high. People aren't really going out. Community's kind of in collapse. Less people have real friends.
I don't know the relevance of that.
What do you mean?
What's the relevance of that?
It's like kind of what you were just talking about.
Not at all.
Wanting to ascend and finding your place in the world. SMV.
I was just talking about pharmacology.
Oh yeah, but I'm kind of getting into your whole. Your goal is to help people ascend, right?
Yeah, but I mean, like, what's the value there? I mean,
and engaging with people in your life.
Yeah, I mean, there's really not that many people that are worth interacting with, I would say.
What do you mean?
Like, most people are extremely jester, I would say.
Don't be jester,
like
man.
They're funny, or like they're just like...
Just have completely misprioritized lives. I would say the average person that you meet who's like an enjoyer of sports, who drinks beer, for example.
Losers.
Like,
that's a loser alert.
Let's go have a beer at the pub and watch Sunday football. Like, that's the worst thing that you could do. Like, you should be on PubMed reading various different studies on how you can look max.
You don't think there's any value in like social interactions with people?
I wouldn't say people in general. I'd say that there's certain people that you could certainly learn from. So the main
Most people are a waste of time. I would agree with that.
goal of looks maxing is not to get girls. It's to feel good about yourself.
No, it's just to be successful in general. It's not about feeling good. It's about real results. And this is a completely objective thing. This isn't my opinion, and it never has just been a subjective thing. It's very, very well researched that in interviews, there's a huge bias towards good-looking people. In dating, obviously, a huge bias towards good-looking people. So,
Oh my God.
objectively, you could hate me as a content creator, but realize like the value in what I'm talking about.
What did you think about the whole Nautica Malone situation?
What is that?
That was the Goonercide. You know, the guy at the Bikini Beans in Tempe, Arizona, who went through
The Gooner
he had,
side.
like supposedly no pants on, and they posted a video of him and he took his own life the next day.
Hmm.
Are you familiar with that story?
I'm not. No, you're gonna have to fill me in.
We just made a documentary about a video they did for him.
Okay. So what exactly happened?
He was going through, you know what a Bikini Barista is? It's like a coffee spot where the women are dressed like they work at Hooters.
No, but you're gonna have to let me know.
Okay.
about that.
exhaust anything
so
else on my
he rolled
deck? I
through,
don't think I
and
can.
it's debatable, but he appeared to have no pants on.
Mm.
And so she was like, "Sir, you have no pants on. Get the hell out of here." They took a video of him, posted it on social media, and it got like 10 million views overnight. Next day, he takes his own life, left behind a wife and kids. And his supporters, basically, I'm not sure how irony poisoned they're being, but they think that like he's an example of like gender culture and how embarrassment is the norm on social media.
Okay. Well, like he was fully naked with his.
No. In the video, you can't tell, but I mean,
But he
appears
is
to have-
fully naked.
He has a shirt on.
But his phallus, let's just say, is showing to the workers.
According to the workers, there was phallus. According to Nautica Malone supporters, he had very short shorts on.
I honestly believe that the workers in that case, like, I mean, I don't really think that anyone should take their own lives, but there's a clear difference there between showing your genitalia and being clothed, even if it's promiscuous, even if it's degenerate, and I could call that out too, but like, that's just straight up, like, a sexual harassment to just like go somewhere with your...
I don't know how to explain this, but there's a phenomenon where people can have very weird views, and when you have a weird view, usually they run in tandem with other things. So you might be like a race realist. It probably also means that you're like a Trump and Tate supporter and an anti-vaxxer and like all these other things. And one thing that's kind of annoying, I feel like this clavicular guy is probably feeling this, is the clavicular guy, he actually has like a well thought out approach to life and in his mind and everything else. But what's happening is people associate like the looks maxing thing with just a retard. So then they ask him a bunch of questions assuming that he's a retard, when in reality, there's just some underlying thing that he values way more than you do. And you could have a discussion about that thing. Is it actually a good idea to value this as much as possible? But I don't know if any of the conversations he's ever had ever actually get to that point. Instead, it's just like that question that threw him for a curveball earlier. When Andrew was like, he was talking about like, what are things that can help you, I think, look better or whatever, or something in high school or something like that. And then Andrew's like, well, what about like not meeting people? And, or like boys not going out and talking to friends or something like that. And Clavicular's like, I'm just talking about like growing your growth plates and shit, dude. Like, what are you talking about? Because they're not connecting at all, because Andrew's trying to rope them into like, oh, like what about incels, or what about misogyny, or what about whatever, like kind of whatever things that he would associate the what he believes or retarded beliefs Clavicular has with other communities or society, writ large. I don't know if this Clavicular guy, like, he doesn't come off to me as somebody stupid, and I don't think I've seen him give any take where I'm like, man, that's just
It's definitely not stupid. I think he just lacks wisdom, but he's not a stupid guy.
fucking retarded, but he has a value around this looks maxing thing. This is the thing I would argue with, that maybe there's not a good fixation, or it's not healthy to fixate on this thing for some reason, but to just like ask a bunch of other questions to see if you can show any other retarded beliefs he has. I don't think, yeah.
Genitalia out. So, like, I'm not gonna obviously side with that one.
So you think it's a little bit fried that people are showing up to do a vigil for his passing?
I would say so. I think that they're certainly right that...
Was it always like this, or is there a rise of the intersectionality type stuff? No, I think in general, I think Andrew's approach works almost all the time. Most people are pretty predictable. Most people fall into certain like constellations of beliefs pretty easily, and you can predict all their beliefs from a couple things. But then, not all the time. Sometimes there's unique people like Mr. Girl or like Clavicular or whatever. Yeah.
There is a lot of scenarios, like in the gym when we'd see girls like record their sets and like a guy would like look for a second and then they would like try to ruin their lives. Like, yeah, that is horrible, right? So that shouldn't occur. But like someone pulling up to a restaurant naked, it's like that just kind of ruins all the optics of everything if you're gonna like make this part of like the argument. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, no, that's just shouldn't have done that.
Definitely agree.
My other computer's getting
You might be
wrecked right
lagging.
now.
I don't know.
Sorry guys, Chrome. It's a rough one.
I stream so much that if I tried to hide anything, it would just come out anyway. So I was just like, yeah. I began blowing up on social media, and I wanted to ascend in a very short time frame, so I was meth maxing to try to lean out as much as possible in a short duration of time.
What was your preferred meth dosage when you were meth maxing?
Usually around like 10 milligrams.
Would that be like a line?
Can you snort
well,
meth?
Yeah, more or less, or you could take it orally. But like when people hear,
Well, I guess you could, huh? If it's just methamphetamine.
like methamphetamine, they assume it's like a guy smoking out of a pipe. But 10 milligrams of methamphetamine is quite similar to the average Adderall prescription.
Yeah.
I don't know how much the isomers weigh or whatever compared to pure methamphetamine. I have no idea. I feel like that's a little higher than the average Adderall prescription, but I'm not 100% sure.
It was normalized like Cipline, but then it was, people would get shade for them for doing Oxycontin or heroin, but it's still chemically similar. So
Yeah.
the same thing with Adderall.
Well, yeah, no, what I'm doing is really not like, not trying to like justify my usage or anything, because I stopped doing it. Like it's quite terrible, but that nuance was never something that was included in the headlines, because like math maxing sounds so funny that it's like a headline. So
I love kitties so much.
It was a lot different than people really could imagine.
Speaking of headlines, like how's your experience been with the mainstream media in general?
Like a lot more positive than a lot of people think it should be. I think it's because people really want to tie looks maxing to some type of political movement, whether it be left wing, right wing, whatever. But it is completely apolitical. So, and I've had good experiences with reporters on both sides of the aisle, and they've just written based on their experiences, not trying to hit piece me in a lot of regards. So I think that has like thrown people off. If like GQ, for example, wrote like a nice article because we spent the day with the reporter. He got an honest insight into my routine, my protocol, whatever. It's like we were very like hospitable to the guy, and he gave us a fair article. People are like, oh,
So it sounds like UPS is flipping in the background. Is he flipping breakers or whatever?
Bro is like a whatever. He's got these weird implications behind him for like having a good article from a leftist media company, where it's like I'm not a political figure, so it's like that's pretty sensible.
And what do you think, I guess, hypersexualized our society?
Just the sexual revolution, like clubbing culture, just it being normalized, like contraceptives, all that kind of stuff.
So relatively new stuff, like you're talking pretty much since like the mid 1900s.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what do you think was the greater agenda at play there? You think it was just people losing their family values, or?
I don't really think that matters. The greater agenda at play, like that's just going to be like a lot of like conspiratorial talk, and it just doesn't matter.
I more mean like just after World War II ends, like the hippie movement starts, and you have this sort of like.
How old is this guy again? Like 21 or something, or 20 or?
Expressing themselves in new ways and kind of just like subcultures emerging, and more like the divorce rate went up after that and all that stuff in the past 70 years. It didn't exist before.
He's 20. Okay.
Well, yeah, and that's like people moving away from religion. Like the Catholic Church doesn't allow divorce, or at least it's not supposed to. So yeah, there's.
It's not. It's the problem isn't moving away from religion. The fundamental problem is the basic social contract broke down. So men and women had a social contract, and by and large, it's mostly women who just ended up violating the social contract. And men are realizing that it's just a fucking joke. There was just so many ways that women ended up abusing the fucking system, and now the whole marriage situation is just completely broken down.
There's a variety of factors why people chose to sort of have this rebellion against traditionalism, and it happened, so it is what it is.
And you think that it was ultimately a bad thing to turn away from the church?
Does it count as me having lost?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay, whatever.
Well, I think that there's a lot of benefit to having some sort of like structure in play in a society, but I think I am not the most like well-educated theologian, so I don't really talk about like theological issues. It's not that I'm like anti-religion. It's just I don't really like to talk on any issues I don't have too much authority on. So I really haven't like thought about it too much or done any research.
Is there any moments you regret from streaming?
Not really, because we're here now.
So even the losses you took on the way were all part of the journey.
Yeah, because like you learn like maybe that's not a good idea to do that.
From a security standpoint, how do you stop stream snipers from ruining your?
I'm not going to talk about that.
Okay. Just want people to know what your protocol is.
Correct.
Word.
Is it worth killing the minion?
What else I should ask about? Because it's tough because I don't want to put you in any boxes, but I'm sure there's people that probably want to know about various controversies. But if you don't want to talk about it, it's cool.
I mean, more so like to talk about like looks maxing in my interviews.
Yeah, he ran over that guy. That was pretty based.
And it's like kind of annoying because no interviewer has actually like come up with a question ever that's been more than what would be the number one piece of advice you would recommend people to looks max. I've genuinely never had a single person ask me specifics about this certain like looks maxing method really outside of like bone smashing, or how do these two things interact, or how does looks maxing differ from this age to this age? Is it still possible to looks max? Like there's no effort really behind what like the questions that you guys prepare. Seemingly, it just seems to be a lot of like gotcha mode.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I.
farm
Oh
shit.
shit!
And
I'm
it's
not
like,
doing that.
I'm in
well,
his brain.
I mean, yeah, you are a little bit to a degree.
I don't think so. I think when you see the full presentation, it's not really going to be edited or clipped in the same way that you might.
Well, just because it's not the worst interview I've had. I mean, like you had like a couple of ones that you were trying to sneak in with like, oh, what is slut hate? And it's like,
yeah, I mean, it's the second, letter in the.
But I mean, like you know what you're intentionally trying to do.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out because like
wait,
why
what the fuck is going on here?
why
Like
it's
one
pretty strongly
bound
worded
card
for
can be
and
played.
Yeah, and that would be fine if that question was in there because it's decently relevant to the culture. But there was not even a single genuine attempt at like a specific LooksMax question.
Well, I'm not in the LooksMaxing community. I'm trying to learn about it. Not everyone talking to you is going to be a niche person who knows about all the methods.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, I know you're not in the LooksMaxing community, but you didn't even ask a LooksMaxing question, like, at all. You don't need to be in the LooksMaxing community to ask a LooksMaxing question.
What do you mean about looks? I think we've been talking about LooksMaxing this whole time.
We've been talking about, like, the philosophy behind it, and it's...
you want me to ask you a scientific question about LooksMaxing?
I just think it's kind of funny how that's really never been done with the amount of, like, media appearances.
Well, maybe people don't even want to be asked that.
Well,
now they will.
Well, that's quite literally what a lot of your companies, your
press your companies. You think I work for like Time Warner or something?
Your press companies. You work for Channel 5?
It's a YouTube channel called Channel 5.
I'm not sure.
I'm the CEO of my own company. I don't have any agenda.
Okay, holy semantics, dude. Like,
it's a pretty big difference between working for an affiliate news station like Channel 5, the TV company.
Well, way to diminish your channel, but once again, semantics.
It is
so
a big difference,
the fact of the matter is.
Yes, the good old headphones disconnecting inexplicably for no reason. There we go.
Specifically reach out. We want to interview him about LooksMaxing. And then you'll start asking like political questions. And I'm just like, okay, like I don't mind it. You know what I mean? I'm not really like afraid or whatever to answer anything. You know, gone through every single question of yours besides the one about my security, which is a little bit weird. But yeah, not a single attempt at anything in regards to LooksMax.
Okay, what's the question I should ask?
Well, that's up to you. It's like, what am I going to tell you how to do your job?
You want me to ask you about specific scientific questions about different LooksMaxing methods.
Well, I mean, just...
And you're not happy with the question about the peptides or the bone smashing or anything like that?
I mean, like, can you not identify, like, anything that you have a curiosity about? Like, maybe, you know, you wake up with dark circles in your eyes one morning and, like, you know, even something like that. I mean, just, like, even if you don't give a shit, I mean, like, it would be, like, at least, you know, you put a little bit of effort into it.
I think I've done a pretty good interview.
From what, like, context? Because if it's from the context of what you guys reached out, was your intention, then I would say that you've done a pretty shitty job.
All right, well, I think people probably want to learn about you, and that was what I was trying to give you the opportunity to do.
Well, no, I think that's totally fair, and that's I applaud you for that. But not one, you know, question about LooksMaxing.
There's been so many questions about LooksMaxing. I've probably asked you about LooksMaxing like 40 times. I just don't know the specific science. I'm not in the community.
Okay. Well, I mean, like, if you were to ask about, like, you know, maybe something in regards to hair loss, like, there's really nothing.
Yeah, sure, hair loss.
You see what I mean?
It's
like, I'm telling you what to ask. So when you wake up every single morning and you take a look in the mirror, you're 100% satisfied with every single thing. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, more or less.
Okay, dude. All right. Well, I guess that's just, if you want to be completely disingenuous, that's fine with me. I guess there's just no point to continue.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. All right.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, guys. No worries.
Oh, what the fuck, nigga, you didn't say that you were streaming on Kick dipshit. Next time make a community post and post on Instagram, fucking delusional moron. What happened to your YouTube stream?
I did post on Instagram, you fuckwit. Hey everyone, so YouTube is being stupid again. My stream got taken down and it's not letting me live stream right now, hopefully. Yeah, so there you go. I was reacting to a video with Sneeko in it. I think that's the video anyway. He had he was open carrying a firearm. And then apparently YouTube has a community guideline policy where if you show anybody transporting a firearm, that violates guidelines. So they took my stream down, and they didn't give me a strike or even a warning. So they basically, like, admitted when they did it, saying there's no fucking way any rational human being would have known this violates community guidelines. So they just decided to take my stream down without any punishment, but it didn't let me create a new stream. So I'm assuming within the next few hours or 24 hours or something, they'll let me start another live stream. But yeah, that's basically what happened. Just the usual dumb YouTube stupid bullshit. But yeah, I did in fact make a post on Instagram, dumbass. Thanks for the donation though, 21st. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, everything's fine. We're all good.
All good?
Yeah. Thanks, brother.
And Cliffy was like, I'm just talking about like growing your growth plates and shit, dude. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, legit. Dude, I don't know. It's kind of comical because I guess like the SNL skits and stuff kind of just make the whole thing into a meme culture when I'm being like fully serious. Like, I don't know if people think it's...
The stream cut off for me when the guy was shooting that guy with the Taliban or whatever. Yeah, it could have also been the Taliban video. Like, if it's anything, like if it's some weird automatic content detection, I would figure it would probably be more likely that. The thing is, based on the description that they told me what the violation is, it would have made more sense for it to have been the Sneeko video. Because the Taliban video, they weren't transporting a firearm. They went to a gun store in Afghanistan, looked at the gun, and then there was a jump cut, and then they're out of shooting range. But if you have like an AI model that's just scrubbing things, yeah, the AI would probably more likely pick up on that. So it could have been either one. In any case, like, are you fucking kidding me? That is by far the dumbest fucking shit. Like, that's the dumbest one yet for like a stream getting taken down. At least they were somewhat reasonable, where they didn't give me a strike or a community like or even a warning. 21st only $2 must feel nice when YouTube randomly decides to try to derail your entire source of income and career. Yeah, it's great. Thanks for the donation, 21st.
Hey VG, will you try GTA 6 when it comes out?
No. It's coming out on console first. I don't have a PlayStation 5, and I'm not getting an Xbox either. So, yeah, I'm just gonna wait for the PC release, and even then, if it's okay, I'll play it, but, you know, we'll see. I'm sure it'll get good reviews, but it's gonna be a shitty game. All the Rockstar games they've been making lately have just been pure fucking trash. GTA 5 was just fucking garbage. Red Dead Redemption 2 was fucking garbage. I couldn't even finish Red Dead Redemption 2. I didn't even get halfway through the fucking game. That was just fucking trash. Thanks for the donation, though, E-Nation. 21st only tillers, oh yeah, speaking of Durian Rider, he noticed. Read the first comment. Where's VG? No uploads on channel 4 months. Okay. I'm gonna start uploading videos again. Can you message him on Instagram or YouTube or something? Try to set up a conversation with him about anything. Like, I could. He's kind of crazy, but maybe. Thanks for that donation, though, 21st.
A joke or anything?
They're not connecting dots. I'm just trying to grow up in Somebody said he calls him cool. Incels or what? Hold on.
Jesus.
How are you gonna be a looks maxer and a snot gurgler? Not acceptable. That was you around this looks maxing thing. This is the thing I would argue with, that maybe there's not a good fixation, or it's not healthy to fixate on this thing for some reason.
Fuck, I should have
just
used
like ask a bunch of other questions to see if you can show any other retarded beliefs he has. I don't think. Yeah,
Yeah, for real. I won't engage your question.
Can we watch when Emma spit on Big Lenny? Like, I guess, if you send me the video.
If I don't have any authority on that subject. I just won't
Okay, never mind.
engage it whatsoever.
Somebody say call me cool. I'm not watching this for 20 minutes to see this.
I think you need to give a take on every single subject without doing any research, without becoming an expert in any regard. So I'll just decline. I don't even give a shit.
Predictable. Most people.
Like, you can't form individual takes based off of what actually.
Why does he
Would
seem
make
high?
for good content, though. You're both crazy. But he's more based and you're black and he isn't. What would you like to talk about with him? Maybe you can figure out how he got that 18-year-old Asian girl to fall in love with him. Go message him.
Well, don't need any advice on that. I've already got a girlfriend that I'm very happy with. But, yeah, it's hard for me to even think of what I'd even talk to him about. He's just kind of fucking nuts. Thanks for the donation, though, 21st.
Actually makes sense. Like, you know, some people would be right-wing in their belief system and automatically feel like they have to be skeptical over seed oils, for example, is a big one I see. They're like, oh, dude, well, I'm skeptical of the fact that the media is, for the most part, very biased towards the Democrats or whatever. So now I have to apply the skepticism everywhere, and all science is fake too, and seed oils are horrible, when that's just straight up retarded.
There's something they call the Gen Z sex recession.
Yeah. Clav is a smart guy. It's just that he is pretty young. Like, he only just turned 20, so he lacks, like, some of the wisdom that an older person's gonna have. Like, that's why he's hanging out with fucktards like Sneeko.
Hello, this is Dr. Grande. Today I will analyze the case of Kelsey Fitzsimmons. First, I'll look at the background of this case, move to the timeline of the alleged crime, then offer my analysis. Kelsey Erin Fitzsimmons was born on November 18, 1996.
Well, the rape accusations, I would say, like, in all likelihood, like, I can say with a very high degree of confidence, they're false. It doesn't mean he's, like, a good person. And I think some of the fucked up shit that he does coincides with him using Tren, because he's like stalked and threatened some of his ex-girlfriends. I think he was on Tren and he got, like, a little rage-filled and delusional and aggressive. So he's not a great guy. I know he's also pulled the what do you mean no tactic, where he was trying to hook up with some 18-year-old and she wasn't really interested in having sex with him, and he kind of was like, well, what do you mean no, you know, kind of thing. And he, like, kept going on and on until she gave in. Like, that's kind of gross, you know.
And lived in the state of Massachusetts. In September 2015, she started working as a campus security guard at Fisher College. In December 2016, she found work as a security guard at Fenway Park. In May 2018, Kelsey started an internship with the Methuen Police Department. In June 2018, Kelsey was arrested for a misdemeanor offense of intoxicated and disruptive.
Just talk to him like a normal person, you don't have to debate him. He's a good speaker, he can lead the conversation somewhere interesting. We all want to see him have a chat with you. Also react.
Yeah, I forgot to email him. I'll email him now. Just, like, apologizing. Oh wait, fuck. All right, send him an email.
Live in Miami, and I want United States and Cuba to get along. I am saying that Cuba is my mom and United States is my dad, and they are divorced, and I want them to get along because the kids are in the middle, and we don't want war, we want peace. I am here.
So why do you live in Miami if Cuba's so great? I like... This person's just nuts. I don't know what the fuck's going on there, but like, whatever. The useful idiot, who knows. Thanks for the donation though, 21st. 21st, when he tells you already plan to email him about what? Just, saying sorry over the shit that happened. But yeah, I just sent him an email. Thanks for the donation, dude. 21st, when he tells would be funny to see you ask him on stream to his face if he takes credit for the rise of your YouTube channel. Lol. I don't know if he'd say it to your face, but he has on videos in the past. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Thanks for the donation, though, 21st.
In 2020, Kelsey graduated from Fisher College with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. She attended law school after this, but dropped out after a year and decided to focus on a career in law enforcement. In September 2021, Kelsey took a job as a correctional officer with the Essex County Sheriff's Department. In June 2023, Kelsey paid $485,000 for a 1,200 square foot house at 125 Phillipsbrook Road in North Andover, Massachusetts. In September of that same year, Kelsey became romantically involved with a firefighter named Justin Allian. In March 2024, Justin moved into Kelsey's house. 2 months later, Kelsey started work as a police officer with the North Andover Police Department. In October 2024, Kelsey and Justin announced their engagement. They planned on getting married in about 1 year. By this point, Kelsey was pregnant with Justin's child. Kelsey had a son named Caden on February 16, 2025. On March 9 of that year, Kelsey allegedly became aggressive, damaged walls, and broke picture frames. The police responded to her home after receiving a call reporting a female having a mental health episode. She was taken to a hospital and placed on a mental health hold. While there, Kelsey was diagnosed with postpartum depression. On March 13, 2025, 4 days later, the North Andover Police Department suspended Kelsey's gun permit, presumably due to her mental health concerns. She filed an appeal. Her permit was reinstated on June 18, 2025, and she was scheduled to return to work as a police officer on July.
What could go wrong?
July 1 of that year. Now moving to the timeline of the alleged crime. On June 28, 2025, Kelsey Fitzsimmons and her fiancé Justin Allian attended a bachelorette party with friends in Bethel, Maine. Justin claimed that Kelsey became intoxicated and violent, striking him multiple times and making threatening statements concerning their son Caden. 2 days.
It's kind of funny. I've seen way more, just anecdotally, instances of women acting crazy and violent. Even though when people think of spousal abuse, they always think, oh, the man beats up the woman. And like, there's obviously abusive men, but women seem to be more violent and aggressive in their relationships compared to men. You can look at the rates of spousal abuse between lesbian couples, heterosexual couples, and gay couples. Gay couples have the lowest rate. Heterosexual couples are intermediate, and then lesbian couples have way higher rates of physical abuse. So I think, like, chances are the majority of the physical abuse in these heterosexual relationships, it's being initiated by the woman.
The OG vegan community. Durian Rider, Freely, Vegan Gains, Happy Healthy Vegan, Bite-Sized Vegan, Unnatural Fake Vegan. Would you consider Mike the Vegan, A bachelor seal and vegan foot soldier to be part of the OG community? I think they were Gen 2.
I don't know. Abbas Lacile's kind of a fucking weirdo. Foot Soldier is like just a insane dumbass, and he's just gone now. He's got that audio channel thing. But yeah. Unnatural, not vegan. I can't stand her. Thanks for the donation, though, 21st.
Days later, on June 30, 2025, Justin filed for an abuse prevention order, which is referred to as a 209A restraining order. This was obtained ex parte, meaning Justin was the only party involved. Kelsey was not given an opportunity to tell her side of the story. Justin warned the police that when they served the order, Kelsey would try to kill their son Caden, any officers involved, and bring an end to her own life. So he predicted that she would not respond in a pro-social manner. The restraining order was issued at 4:31 p.m. This order had severe implications for Kelsey. Her infant son, Caden, would be taken away and go to Justin. She would not be allowed to possess a firearm and could not serve as a police officer because that job requires having a gun. At 6:02 p.m., 3 police officers arrived at Kelsey's house to serve her with the restraining order. They explained to her that Justin would be arriving soon to pick up Caden. Kelsey retrieved bottles and diapers on the first floor. One police officer, Patrick Noonan, then escorted her to the second floor. This was so Kelsey could retrieve clothing. At 6:17 p.m., Justin arrived at Kelsey's house to pick up Caden. Patrick said that 2 minutes later, at 6:19 p.m.,
here we go.
He was standing in the doorway of Kelsey's bedroom as she was folding laundry from a kneeling position. Suddenly, Kelsey lunged behind a door.
21st New Taylor speaking, Mike the vegan. Watch this. Kind of crazy how you cut him off entirely just because you disagree with his position on atherosclerosis reversal.
Hey, it's Mike here, and today...
Well, I didn't cut him off entirely. Like, he just stopped talking to me. He stopped talking to me long before any of that happened. I had dinner with him and his wife, and his wife didn't like me, and I literally caught her lying in an argument about firearms. And she got mad at me, and I'm sure, you know, the way these things work, he wasn't really allowed to talk to me anymore. And then there's the whole atherosclerosis thing, and he just ended up acting like a fucking weirdo baby lunatic. You know, not being able to take any criticism and shit. But we'll watch that in a bit. Thanks for the donation, 21st.
And produced a firearm. She pointed the weapon at Patrick and pulled the trigger, but the weapon did not discharge. At this point, Kelsey stood up and pulled the slide back. She was trying to manually cycle the weapon to chamber a round. Patrick said something like, "Don't do it," and he claimed that he ordered Kelsey to drop the gun. He then discharged his 9mm pistol twice, striking Kelsey in the chest with the second round. Kelsey was airlifted to a hospital and survived her injuries. She spent 53 days there. Initially,
Jesus, what a crazy bitch.
She was arrested and charged with 1 count of armed assault with intent to murder and 2 counts of assault by means of a dangerous weapon. Kelsey denied that she tried to kill Patrick Noonan. She
Yeah, that's why you had the gun.
admitted that she retrieved a pistol, but claimed that she placed the gun to her own head. She never pointed the weapon at the officer. On August 25, 2025, a grand jury only indicted Kelsey on a single count of assault by means of a dangerous weapon. They declined to indict her on the other 2 charges. Kelsey was released on
And you know it's because she's a pretty girl. If that dude did that, he'd be put away.
Personal recognizance. 3 days later, her trial is scheduled to start on March 23, 2026. Now moving to my analysis. Kelsey Fitzsimmons maintains her innocence, and she has a massive number of supporters. Many of these people are the same ones who vigorously maintain that Karen Reed was framed by corrupt police officers. Ultimately, Karen was acquitted on charges that she murdered her boyfriend with a Lexus SUV. I have 3 videos on the Karen Reed case. The state, of course, disagrees about the innocence of Kelsey Fitzsimmons. They believe that she attempted to shoot a police officer who was lawfully serving a restraining order. This brings me to the question, is Kelsey guilty of assault by means of a dangerous weapon? Let's take a look at the evidence both for and against the idea that she is guilty.
If she was trying to kill herself, why in the fuck wouldn't she have done that, like, before or after? Why, when the cops were there, darts, and then, like, pulls out a gun? Like, that, none of that makes sense. So, yeah, she tried to kill a cop. It's a crazy bitch.
Is bacteria the key to being jacked? Will bodybuilders be taking this particular strain of bacteria instead of steroids in the future? Well, we have a very recent study that found a particular strain of bacteria that was connected to muscle strength, growth, interesting other muscle pathways, types of muscle in terms of fast twitch muscle fiber, and more. So we're gonna muscle this study open, learn all about it, and learn about this bacterial strain called Roseburia inulinivorans. It's a mouthful, but there's a lot to learn here, so let's just go. We have a few studies on this particular strain. We'll get into more of the benefits that are general later, and it was in the phylum Firmicutes, which sounds cute until scientists decided to change it to Bacillota, just to keep us on our toes. This is a gut bacteria, and from this study, it is lower in people with type 2 diabetes. And I have tangentially touched on this topic before, talking about how bacteria produce short-chain fatty acids, which actually can, in some cases, increase muscle protein synthesis. That's part of what's going on, but there's so much more going on here with this particular strain. Well, let's go to the main study here, which is in the British Medical Journal's Gut sort of sub-journal. They looked at 90 young adults and 33 older adults here. Also, part of the study was to compare the levels of people at different ages in this, who has more, who has less, how does the strength relate there? And they also looked at various measures of strength. We're talking about grip strength, leg press, bench press, and of course, VO2 max, which is more cardiorespiratory than muscle strength, but still fitness. And they broke up the results by the younger and the older adults. And in those younger adults, we can see this Roseburia species associated with better VO2 max, better grip strength, leg press, and bench press, which is wild. And both of those presses were also associated with another Roseburia species, which is called Roseburia intestinalis, but that was not as well associated across the study, not nearly as much. And then we have the older adult results, which even just having it detectable in their gut was associated with about a 30% increase in hand grip strength. And then we also saw good associations for VO2 max in older adults as well. And then we saw a general trend of younger people having higher levels of this Roseburia species than older people. And you're probably thinking correlation versus causation. We'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, it's probably the case that people who are already healthier and stronger are going to be having a better gut profile overall. And to try and explore whether or not this was a causal relationship, they had another arm of the study, the mouse arm, where they were testing micey arm strength there. You know, I'm not a fan of these rodent studies. They often don't apply, but they did that. So we're gonna look at the results. So they took mice and they actually inoculated them. They essentially gave them probiotics that contained this species of Roseburia, and they got stronger. Another interesting finding was that their type 2 or fast twitch muscle fiber increased over their type 1. And then we also had actual levels of protein, not just in their lower gut, but also in their bloodstream going down. You may be thinking, oh, that sounds like it would be bad. No, in a controlled environment like this, it indicates that the protein was actually absorbed and utilized more with the bacteria. And in the mice, once again, this Roseburia inulinivorans increased hand grip strength. That would be a pretty small hand grip testing machine there, but the other Roseburia did not. So in mice, at least, this is even more species specific than we're getting in terms of associations in humans. And another important thing, people might be wondering, how do I get this? What can I do? They gave the probiotic to these mice, and after they stopped giving it to them, it was no longer colonized to the same degree. So it's something that transiently colonizes the gut. And no, this is not available as a probiotic.
Bro, people are such gay fucking retards. So I gotta address this.
Online about it, there's endless pharmacies offering to send it to you. I've been in the fitness space for over 12 years. I've noticed a recent uptick in places that are offering exactly this to you, but not an equal response offering this to you. Blood work, something that really matters. TRT is great, totally not knocking it. A lot of the places that offer TRT probably will send you to a clinic too. As sexy and interesting and talked about as TRT is, this one's taking a back burner, and I want to do something about that. You see, way back in the day, when I used to compete, yes, that's me, I got my blood work done all the time because we knew that this was just as important as this. I don't see.
You do not need blood work when you're on TRT. TRT generally is going to be a replacement dose. It's putting your testosterone to where it ought to be, you know, like naturally in an optimal ideal range. Most men are probably going to prefer having their testosterone be between 1,000 and 1,500 nanograms per deciliter if they're on TRT. And you don't need blood work for that. You're talking about doses that are going to be at or below 200 milligrams per week. So with a dose like that, you're not going to have massive increases in hematocrit and red blood cell count, where the increase in hematocrit and red blood cells is massively fucking overblown. Like, if your hematocrit's like, you know, over 55 and you're symptomatic, sure, you know, like that could be a problem, and you might want to address that by adjusting your TRT dose or basically getting bloodletting or something like that. But there are people living at high altitude, like in Stittsville, Colorado, or in the Himalayan mountains, where you will regularly see people with a hematocrit of 70. And they do not have increased risk of blood clotting, heart attacks, strokes. So if an elevated hematocrit was a risk factor for anything, everybody living in Stittsville, Colorado would be dead. Everybody living in the Himalayan mountains would be dead. That's the primary kind of concern that you'd have with like TRT or PEDs in general when it comes to blood work. But like, we know that it doesn't increase clotting risk. There's no evidence, and especially when you're talking about a TRT dose, again, 200 milligrams or less per week. Most people are going to fall somewhere between 140 and 200 milligrams per week for their TRT. It's not going to substantially affect your hematocrit. It's just not. I've been on the last blood test I got. I was on 350 test, 200 milligrams boldenone. My hematocrit was only 48. So within the normal range. That's only 2 points higher than it was when I was natural, which was 46. And boldenone is kind of known for causing elevation in hematocrit too. And my hematocrit actually went down after going on boldenone and increasing my test dose. So it's just a load of bullshit. Testosterone also has beneficial effects on your lipid markers. You'll generally see a reduction in LDL cholesterol. It's good for reducing ApoB containing lipoproteins. And it's also good for reducing ApoA, which is the most atherogenic lipid particle. So it has beneficial effects on your lipid profile. So again, if you're on TRT, what's the point of getting blood work? You will predictably have better cholesterol. And the only other concern would be your blood pressure, but you don't get blood work for blood pressure. You just use a blood pressure cuff. And again, what a lot of people don't realize is even on high doses of testosterone, we're talking 600 milligrams per week, which you are solidly fucking juicing at that point. You don't see statistically significant differences between somebody taking 600 milligrams of testosterone per week and placebo when it comes to blood pressure. So it just does not, on average, have a substantive effect on your blood pressure. Some people may have an increase in blood pressure just due to some people having, like, it affects the aldosterone pathway, the angiotensin-aldosterone pathway. And your body, like, generally auto-regulates, so the increased test might raise your blood pressure initially, but then it just comes back down because your body just adapts to it. Some people, they're just more sensitive to it. They may need blood pressure management on TRT, but again, that's not something you manage through blood work. That's just something you just use a blood pressure cuff. And testosterone isn't toxic to any organ system in your body, so it's not like... if you're taking an oral steroid, you want to make sure that your liver health is good. Like, you don't need that. It's not toxic to any organ system. So you don't need blood work when you're on TRT. It's only if you're like symptomatic of something. So like if you're kind of getting out of breath, you feel like your head is really stuffy, then you want to get blood work and check your hematocrit, because you're actually like symptomatic. Or if you're having high estrogenic side effects, so you're having like a lot of edema, water retention or something, then you want to look at like estrogen management. But that's just not going to be the case for most people. Again, your average man can start on 20 milligrams test per day, which equates to 140 per week. For most people, that'll put your total test between 1,000, 1,500 milligrams or nanograms per deciliter. That's just not a level where you'd expect like really sky high hematocrit where you're going to be symptomatic. And you're like, most people don't hyperaromatize either, where you'd expect that to cause like edema or something, where you'd want to check your E2 levels and, you know, figure out some way to manage your estrogen. So you don't need blood work. And sure enough, what do you know? The guy's partnered with some bogus bullshit blood testing company where you can order blood work that's overpriced for no fucking reason. Starter panel. Like, why do you need this? You don't. You do not need to spend $110 on blood work when you're on TRT. It's just a scam. If you have insurance and you live in the United States, usually your health insurance plan will cover regular blood work, like, you know, a couple times a year. If you live in Canada or any country that has socialized healthcare, it's covered for free. You don't need to pay any money. And you can just request it through your doctor, which is basically what I do. I don't need to pay for blood work, so this is just bullshit. This guy is promoting this stupid idea just so that he can make money, because this is like a paid advertisement. So I pointed this out. And oh my god, the fucking replies to this are just so fucking outrageously stupid. A normal TRT prescription of 200 milligrams a week puts me over 1,500 nanograms per deciliter, which will cause problems over time. No evidence whatsoever that having a total test level of over 1,500 nanograms per deciliter causes health problems. He made that up. No evidence of that whatsoever. And then there's some other idiot saying that you need blood work. You need blood work if you're going to go on TRT. If you're depressed, you might have a thyroid problem. This isn't what he's talking about. Obviously, if you're considering testosterone replacement therapy, you want to get blood work to confirm if you actually have low testosterone. But the idea that you need frequent blood work when you're on TRT, again, it's fucking stupid. Like, what these people are basically saying is being male is a health problem. So if you're born a man, that is a health problem, and you need consistent blood work if you have testicles. Like, it's just stupid. There's some other idiot, be serious, why don't you research this topic before making ridiculous statements. Research what happens when estrogen, using exogenous testosterone, what high estrogen does. Again, you do not, like, if you're on a TRT dose, your estrogen should just be, like, in a normal kind of range. Elevated estrogen on TRT, like, I think it depends on what lab you're going with, but I think high for a man is considered like over 50 or 55 picograms per mil. You might end up with a E2 of like 60 or 65, maybe even 70. That's not a problem. Higher estrogen is cardioprotective. It has beneficial effects on your lipids. It also helps to protect your endothelium. Estrogen has like antioxidant effects. So having higher estrogen that's slightly outside the normal range, that's not a health issue. And then this one. Testosterone is literally one of the reasons men have a lower life expectancy than women. So men with higher testosterone live longer. Men with the highest testosterone Over 1,000 nanograms per deciliter live longer than men with low testosterone. So if testosterone caused health problems, you would likely see the inverse, where men with low testosterone live longer, or men who either have an orchiectomy or they've had their testicles removed because they live in some like shithole fucking weird country where they didn't want you to go through puberty because they wanted you to be an orchestra singer or something, where you became a eunuch. You'd see them live longer, but they don't. They live shorter lives. I'm gonna respond to that. What a fucking dumbass. Men with higher testosterone live longer. This has been confirmed with multiple prospective cohorts, including the Framingham experiment. If testosterone was deadly, why do men with the highest levels of testosterone live longer? Like, just stupid. Yeah, testosterone is literally a double-edged sword for men. It's not. Like they can't even explain why. Why? What does it do? Like what does testosterone do that makes you live a shorter life? So let's see. It increases muscle mass, which is beneficial for longevity and staying healthy as you age. It has beneficial effects for your metabolism and helps prevent diabetes, which again, if you're diabetic, that causes all sorts of fucking problems, including negative effects on your serum lipids, which makes you more prone to heart disease. Testosterone is a pro-hormone to estrogen. Estrogen has a bunch of protective effects. It also increases bone mineral density, which again helps protect against like things like what is it? What's the thing that fucking women get when they go through menopause and their bones? Osteoporosis. Protects against osteoporosis. Has a bunch of cardioprotective effects. Like there's nothing that testosterone does where you'd be like, oh, dangerous. So it's just nonsense. The reason why men tend to live shorter lives on average is just due to lifestyle differences. That's it. Men are more stressed. They work more. They take more risks. They're more likely to do drugs, have unhealthy lifestyles. They're more likely to die in war. They're more likely to smoke, drink. That's why they live shorter lives. Has nothing to do with testosterone. What's this stupid one? This is not true at all. I've had clients start TRT and he's really sensitive to it and it raised his hematocrit through the roof to dangerous levels. So again, this is just somebody making up bullshit. What's a dangerous hematocrit? You can find people living in Stittsville, Colorado with hematocrit in the 70s. Why aren't they all dead? Some people take TRT and their estrogen skyrockets. That's great. Some people fucking kill themselves lifting weights. We've seen it. There was a guy who fucking separated his fucking spine squatting in the Smith machine. Should nobody exercise? Saying you should get blood work on TRT is, I think he meant shouldn't. I didn't say shouldn't. I said it's not necessary. Like, these people are so fucking stupid. Like, they're just not worth my fucking time. What a fucktard. It's just so outrageously stupid.
There are so many videos on the internet like this from you banning this word over the years. Don't skip these, nigga.
Yeah, nice try, dipshit. Damn it. Got away with one. Yeah. Yeah, nice try.
Hundreds of celebrity scams.
There's just no. Hola buen amigo. Mi inglés es pésimo, Así que espero que el español esté bien. Me encanta tu canal, pero tengo algo confundido. ¿Quién es Jurin Reicher? Sigues soltando tesos.
Very clever. Thanks for the donation, 21st.
You should meet up with Durian Rider when you go to Australia to visit Pat. But be careful because he's kind of known to steal people's girlfriends. Pat's probably gonna suck him off then claim he raped her.
That's great. Thanks for the donation, dude. People are just dumbasses.
Biotic supplement yet. It is not.
Oh, 21st and Nutilers, watch the whole thing, no skip. Me before I did. Yeah, we're not watching that. Thanks for the donation, dude.
Generally recognized as safe yet. So you can only get it in a testing capacity, like you're doing a study, you're doing research or something like that. So what could maybe raise it? That brings me once again.
Give me a second. Whoops.
In a testing capacity, like you're doing a study, you're doing research or something like that. So what could maybe raise it? That brings me once again to diet. You knew it was coming. So what do we know about diet and this bacterial species? Well, for starters, inulin niverans literally means inulin devourer, vor like carnivore, herbivore, and then inulin is a particular type of prebiotic soluble fiber. Obviously, if it's already present in your gut, that helps for you to be able to feed it and colonize it. Assuming you already have it, you can find out in a gut test that has species-specific results, but inulin is highest in chicory root and Jerusalem artichoke, and you can find that in some of these
What ethnicity is Pat? She is Malaysian.
Prebiotic sodas, for example, but there are other more practical foods like garlic and onions and asparagus that have pretty good amounts as well. And yes, because this is a plant-based structure, this is another thing that people on a carnivore diet would, of course, completely miss out on, and that's why they look so weak when you see them out there in the wild. Just had to turn the tables a bit, and then we also have how this Roseburia species feeds on resistant starch. Of course, we're talking about things like potatoes and beans, and so you're kind of getting the picture that this is a plant-fed bacteria, which is then leading to muscle gains. And for those of you that have somehow been living under a rock, yes, we have super jacked vegans nowadays. We have IFBB Pro vegans, just straight up ripply, muscly people who may or may not be benefiting from this inulin and this starch, and of course, as I mentioned before, that butyrate or short-chain fatty acid connection to muscle protein synthesis. And yes, this is also a butyrate-producing bacteria, so it's coming from several different angles. We also have another mechanism, which is the pentose phosphate pathway, or the PPP, which is complicated, but this bacteria is essentially encouraging your muscle not just to use all the energy it gets for actual contractions, but to take some of that and use it for building and recovery, etc. more, which could improve strength. And then it promotes an increase in muscle hypertrophy just because it's encouraging more of that type 2 muscle fiber, which has a higher volume than the slow twitch type 1 muscle fiber. You're kind of getting the vibe. This is a bacteria that is a plant-based, starch-loving, inulin.
21st century tellers, are Pat's parents Muslim and was she raised Muslim?
Dude, Adobe sucks. Adobe fucking sucks.
Dude, I can't watch Blaha, dude. That's just fucking gross. Her mom's ex-Muslim. I don't know if she was raised Muslim at all. Thanks for that donation, 21st.
Loving, devouring bacteria. Has anybody studied it in terms of diets? Well, we at least have this 3-month vegetarian study putting people on a vegetarian diet, which found that, yes, Roseburia inulinivorans was one of the species that increased in abundance, of course, from their just increased plant and fiber intake. Yeah, from this study, for instance, species belonging to Roseburia and Ruminococcus as well, which are involved in the digestion of plant polysaccharides, which are long-chain carbohydrates, increased after the short-term vegetarian diet. These have previously been shown to decrease after a short-term meat-rich diet. And for some more general benefits here, we have, quote, Roseburia and Ruminococcus are all producers of the short-chain fatty acid butyrate, which has been shown to affect T cells by inhibiting T cell proliferation and by stimulating T regulatory cells, as well as inhibiting pro-inflammatory cytokines. And more generally, we have the benefit of the short-chain fatty acids increasing muscle protein synthesis, and in general fiber from this study on women, which used Mendelian randomization, increasing muscle mass in women, which is absolutely fascinating. The more fiber they ate, the more muscle they had. Yeah, because this does not exist as a probiotic yet. Maybe somebody needs to start a company to do it, I don't know, and get it generally recognized as safe. It's probably gonna cost a lot of money. And it's apparently, because it's so sensitive to oxygen, it can be hard to put into a probiotic capsule without killing it. So for now, I'm going to be Jerusalem artichoke maxing and also using this as an excuse to be drinking more of those prebiotic sodas. Just gonna be chugging those down. But yeah, in terms of just eating more garlic and onions and asparagus and things like this, the side effects that you might get are also going to be positive, so focus on that. And in terms of the conclusion of the scientists, they say, quote, these findings support its potential as a probiotic candidate for nutraceutical interventions targeting age-related muscle wasting diseases.
I hate how YouTube's been doing that.
There's a likely benefit of increasing your numbers here of this bacteria to decrease muscle wasting. Again, we need actual human studies on this. Yeah, we have the association, and we have perhaps some causation species of bacteria out.
It's kind of interesting. I wonder if it's still doing the thing. Yeah, it's still disabled. Baffling.
Indian traffic cops, and they were beautiful.
Using questionable camera angles and making remarks about their looks.
With their neatly pressed, figure-hugging uniforms and blue caps beneath which they wore their hair in immaculate hairdos.
For some viewers, it was harmless humour. For others, it was already crossing a line.
In fact, I'd often stop to ask needless directions just to see their smiles up close, maybe feel a slight hint of their breath on my skin.
Even one comment said, I knew it. I'm not the creepiest man alive. But the video wasn't just about the policewomen. It was also showcasing a side of India most people have never seen. The streets, the chaos, and the culture. And that would become his formula. Unlike most Western travel vloggers at the time, Bald wasn't chasing luxury. He was filming primarily in India and Russia, posting videos like solo in India's biggest slums in Mumbai, a thieves' market full of stolen goods in Delhi, visiting the poorest town in Russia, and even visiting Russia's most dangerous town. All of these would set the tone very early for what his channel was going to become. A raw and authentic view of some of the world's least documented cultures.
Hey, too much masturbation, this guy. I was going to shake his hand, but I don't think I want to shake that hand anymore. Okay. 1,500. Hey, I noticed you're not putting your hand in your pocket. 500. You greedy little bugger. 50,000 people used to live here. Now it's a ghost town. Welcome to Pripyat.
And he didn't narrate from a distance, he walked amongst it. What set Bald apart was his ability to seemingly mesh with the culture he was exploring. He spoke Hindi fairly well and was almost fluent in Russian.
कहाँ से आपको हिमाचल प्रदेश से पंडोर ये गांव है अच्छा 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 not so far. Здравствуйте. Вот сколько следующий да морки?
У нас в Аглавите нет.
Нету отсюда. А как же я туда буду добраться?
He understood the local histories, the political context, and the economic decline. And for Western audiences who had only ever seen these countries through headlines about corruption, war, or poverty, it was oddly humanizing. He didn't hide his interest in women either. In many videos, he openly commented on their appearance, something viewers found refreshingly honest, and others found uncomfortable.
There's two things that I like in life: markets and women. And here I've come to the world's only all-women's market. I found someone who's looking for girls like me. Where are the girls at? Let's find some chicks. Oh, sexy little things in their hijabs. It's very sexy when you just see the eyes. Leaves a lot to the imagination. You start imagining what's under the rest of it.
With one comment left on his channel even stating, "One thing this channel is missing is respect for women. They're either pretty, so treated like objects, or they're fat women with cankles." Yikes. Bald actually...
Yeah, but when women are like, he's only 5'9", he only makes $59,000 a year. Right. There's the whole, 666 joke, 6 feet tall, 6-inch penis, 6-figure income. So when women do it, it's fine, but when men do it, oh yeah.
What is this gay beta male toxic masculinity bullshit you're reacting to? You're still doing this hypocritical grift, man? He's interested in girls. Big deal. Holy shit. What happened to letting men just be men?
Yeah, really, it's fucking retarded. Thanks for the donation, 21st. He was actually, in a big court case where apparently he raped a chick. He got off the charges, but there was some weird shit going on. I don't know if he actually did it. Who the fuck knows what was actually going on? But yeah, there like this is just fucking stupid. But yeah, apparently there are some stuff that he was doing that was maybe not good.
replied to this saying, "I have news for you. Men objectify every woman we see or meet. We place them in two categories. Would fuck them or not. It's reality.
And women do the same thing.
If you think that's creepy, go ahead. But it doesn't change the fact of how men think. Despite some...
Like, it's communist bullshit. It's this, like, whole white guilt thing. This whole idea of, oh, men objectifying women, like, women are people too. Why are you just looking at women as sex objects? Like, male sexuality is very straightforward. Does it look pretty? Yes. I want to have sex with. It, like, that's just how male sexuality works. So when dudes see an attractive woman, they just start thinking about fucking. This whole idea that, oh, that's wrong. You shouldn't think about having sex with women. You should think about how they're real people and learn about their personalities and how interesting and unique they are. That's communist brain rot horseshit that is just making masculinity seem evil. That's all it is. And it's deliberately, it's this propaganda that's designed to deliberately destroy society. Same thing with this whole, like, white guilt thing where, oh, white colonialism is so bad. Like again, that's why communists destroyed fucking Rhodesia and South Africa. That was all brought on by that, like, white guilt bullshit. And like this is destroying society where like masculinity is being vilified, and they're having like men be ashamed of their masculinity, ashamed of themselves, any kind of masculine drive they have to like work hard, get women they want, control society, like, you know, rise up the ranks, get more women. That's all being vilified so that men are less productive, and they let women be in charge, and then they let in mass amounts of immigrants. They let crime run rampant. It like that's what it's for. This is just communist horseshit that's designed to destroy society. 21st $22. Are you lifting the ban on reacting to Bald and Bankrupt then? I never had a ban on that. You said you wouldn't react to him because he manipulates poor women into having sex with him. I don't recall ever saying that. I just said, like, there's some stuff that he did that seems extremely likely that he probably did some shady shit. He hasn't been found guilty of it in court yet, but there's some stuff that does seem a little, that I've seen that seems pretty fishy. But I don't think I ever said I was totally opposed to reacting to him. Thanks for the donation on the 21st.
Head, but it doesn't.
If I did, I can't remember.
Doesn't change the facts of how men think. Despite some of the early rumblings about how he
I just found a lot of his recent content kind of boring, and I just stopped watching him.
viewed women, the growth on his channel was rapid. Within just 1 year, he'd gained over 900,000 subscribers. By mid-2019, the much-loved PewDiePie had even publicly named Bald and Bankrupt as his favourite YouTuber during an interview.
Who do you watch normally? Right now I'm watching this guy, Bald and Bankrupt. Have you seen him?
Bald and Bankrupt?
He's a British dude that speaks Russian. So he goes to these weird Soviet previous Union places, and he just fucks with all the locals. It's really interesting.
That endorsement alone exposed him to millions, and his channel kept exploding. He wasn't just a travel vlogger anymore. He was one of the most talked about creators in the niche. The more remote and uncomfortable the destination, the more people watched. But the same instinct that made his videos compelling would soon put him in situations far beyond just YouTube drama.
Today I'm going to go on a journey to the Soviet Union. If you'd like to, pull up a chair, get comfortable and join me.
In February 2019, Bald relocated to Russia. His content sharpened. He visited closed cities, crumbling Soviet provinces, and would drink and converse with locals in these forgotten and unexplored towns.
А сколько населения здесь?
Ой, ну населения тут мало,
Да?
конечно. Тут самые старики у нас, вот,
Да?
остались.
А магазин закрыли уже?
Магазин закрыли, некому работать у нас.
Что можно делать, когда вы хотите купить хлеб или молоко или
А
что?
вот не привозите нам.
А если молоко нету, что делать? Надо дождаться.
А что, будем ждать?
He even
America's always been about loving women. Your appetite life communism promotes degen sex with anybody. You got it backwards. No. You're retarded. In China specifically, they had a very long, under Mao Zedong, they had a very big policy with controlling people's sex lives, particularly like women's reproductive ability. They had that one-child policy. The extent to which they tried to prevent women from having children is actually insane. Women would... It would be mandatory for women to report their menstrual cycles to their, manager at wherever they worked. So if they worked a factory job, like making jeans, they would have to report to their factory manager when their menstrual cycles occurred, and that would be stored in, like, a fucking database, and they would be told, you cannot have sex on these given days because that's when your, like, menstrual cycle happens, and that's when you're most likely to have children. Like, it was fucking insane. And especially in rural China, they would, like, where they couldn't afford to either have female children, or if they couldn't afford to pay the cost of having an extra child, they would just kill their kids once they were born. So they wouldn't have, like, prenatal screening or anything to know if they're going to have a girl or a boy. They would just wait and see whether they were going to have a girl or a boy. And then if they had a girl, they just kill them. They just like drown them and basically use them for fucking fertilizer or some shit. Because if you only have one opportunity to have a kid, you're probably preferably want to have a male child because they're just more productive. So yeah, like really fucking insane. Soviet Union, there's like there's like rich areas where you kind of, you know, where yeah, you get more of the kind of Vegas sort of lifestyle like Moscow. But generally speaking, like I knew a guy who grew up in the Soviet Union. He was my old training partner. It's the Soviet Union, so people would have to make money. And a lot of women ended up making extra money through sex work. That was a thing. That doesn't have anything to do with like Soviet society promoting promiscuity and sexuality or anything like that. That's just all under the table work that people weren't supposed to do so that they could make extra money. But the idea that communist societies inherently are pro-sexual revolution, women can fuck whoever they want and like have tons of sex, like that's just bullshit. 21st donated $2. Why do you act like the one-child policy is a bad thing? Just that it was done in a stupid way, but inherently is not a bad thing because you openly support eugenics as I do. Well, for one thing, that is not a eugenics policy. That was some weird paranoid idea that they had where they figured the population would increase to a point where they wouldn't be able to sustain a higher population. A lot of people thought that, like, there were, like, it wasn't even really a fucking idea that was taken particularly seriously even back then, because most smart people realized, especially after they found out how to make fertilizer, that people just learn how to be more productive, and just modern science and just the ability to produce more food more efficiently, and like, you know, with machining equipment and all that, like being able to transport water, clear forests and stuff like that, like just modern technology allows you to just have a higher population. So it wasn't really an idea that was taken particularly seriously even at the time. It's just Mao Zedong was like a crazy retard. He had that one-child policy, and it was based on the idea that Chinese society would never be able to be more productive. And it completely backfired, and it's fucked China up majorly. But that was not a eugenics policy. That was just a policy to prevent a population increase. I'm fine with eugenics fundamentally, if it's like, and we have eugenics policies. A lot of people like associate eugenics with like racism and shit like that. We don't allow people who are siblings to have children. I think in a lot of countries too, they don't even allow cousins to have children. That is a eugenics policy. So I'm fine with eugenics, but that's not eugenics.
Released a
Thanks
book
for that
based
donation
on
on
his
21st.
travels around Belarus titled The Burning Edge, under the alias Arthur Chichester. He would see his first real brush with controversy, however, after one video titled The Last House in the Chernobyl Village. In it, he met
21st only teller is apparently China's population without the Great Leap Forward. Famine, and without the one-child policy, it would have been around 1.8 to 2 billion right now. Probably not. Crazy to think about. China would have a higher GDP than the U.S., say, if that were the case, and China led world order. No. So that's taking. You have to make a lot of assumptions. It just wouldn't be the case. You'd have to assume that, one, people would be motivated to have more children, which they wouldn't. Once societies become advanced and productive, and a lot of work moves from like a more agricultural sort of lifestyle to more educated and industrial, you just see people have less children. That's what's happening all across the world, even in Africa, which previously had the highest birth rate. As more jobs become more specialized, people are getting more educated and things are industrializing, people just have less children because there's no rational reason to have more kids. So it would assume people would be motivated to have children. It would also assume a number of other factors too, like China would actually invest in infrastructure to a point that they'd be able to facilitate that population increase, which I also doubt they would be able to do because of the insane mass amount of corruption within China. Like we've seen them open these large bridge projects, and then like literally a week later, the bridge fucking collapses. So the idea that they'd be able to like double or triple the amount of housing and roads and bridges and train systems they have now, they just wouldn't do it. And if they did, it would just fail spectacularly. And people just wouldn't have fucking kids because they know there just isn't, like, it's just going to be way too hard to fucking get by. There'd just be like overcrowding and shit. Property would just be too expensive. Like, it just wouldn't happen. So no, China wouldn't have been at 1.8 billion, and they might have ended up having a bigger overall GDP, but GDP per capita would still be peanuts compared to the United States. It's again just because of communism. Communism destroys societies, and it would just never fucking work. They wouldn't lead the world order. Thanks for the donation, though, 21st. 21st Only Teller is pretty sure you skipped one or two of my previous donations during your rambling. I did not. Oh, maybe I did. Well, yes, you absolutely refused to react to him on several occasions when people sent you his links. You refused to react to him and specifically said you won't watch his videos on stream because he goes to poor countries to manipulate women to have sex. I don't remember that, but I'll take your word for it. Thanks for the donation, dude. Yeah, I think it was just one.
Met a man named Collier who lived in an isolated house in the forest with no water or power supply.
What a dark little place. Električka jest w wasz dom, Kolja? Električka. There's no electricity in his house, so he just lives here in the village in this little dark house.
Bald ended up filming a series of videos with the man, going back to deliver groceries like meats and food, and most importantly, vodka, as Collier was an alcoholic with really not much else to do in a dark, cold house by himself in the woods with no electricity. All of this was celebrated, and Collier became something of a legendary character on Bald's channel. The controversy arose when Bald launched merchandise featuring Collier's face, stating the profits would go to improving his living conditions.
Recently, I had a t-shirt campaign. So I was going to raise some money for someone. And well, you guys bought the t-shirts, and I've got the money. Kolja, это много деньги.
21st Only Teller, he can't remember anything. Can't even remember that. Well. Okay, that's great. Thanks for the donation, dude.
Хорошо? Ну, вы будете тратить это, как вы хотите. I left him with the equivalent of what was about a year's pension money.
However, due to being able to see how much cash was handed over to him, fans were quick to notice it wasn't quite the figure Bald had stated it to be, with comments and Reddit posts calling him out for donating only $200 or $300 compared to the supposed $10,000 that was actually made from the merch sales. That controversy was nothing, however, compared to what was to come. Over the next few years, Bald would consistently travel to some of the most dangerous countries on Earth. In Pantamata, Bolivia, locals warned him that outsiders had been burned alive.
Jeez. No, I don't know what you're saying, but you're saying don't go, they're going to attack you. Okay. Yeah? Okay.
And he was affronted by the local militia.
Oh no, they're coming out the house and staring at me. Turista, sì, iz Anglii, England. Problem? Yes, see, problem?
It's a nice bike.
Men inspected his passport and gave him 30 minutes to leave.
Passport? Por favor.
Medio,
Taxi.
30 minutes.
20 minutes?
30 minutes.
Okay, 20 minutes, okay.
He stayed just long enough to film. He would even end up in a Spanish news.
That was when you tried to cop a feel on, redacted, on stream and she yelled at you and made you feel bad because she's a manipulative cunt.
Okay,
You said
yeah, we're done with that, okay? I'm just done with all that. Thanks for that donation, 21st.
News article describing his trip as more scary than entering Chernobyl. Then Chechnya 2019. After referring to local women as chicks on a train journey, Chechen authorities forced him to issue a filmed apology.
Hopefully at some point in the night at some stop a Chechen chick turns up and shares my compartment with me.
Oh, salam alaikum, sister. Would you like a glass of, Baltic?
Jasmine?
Салам алейкум, все люди здесь в Республике Чечня. Мой фильм на YouTube оставил там. И я говорил что-то, которое не были красивые, честно говоря, про женщину в Чечне. Честно говоря, я не хотел оскорбить Чечня или люди здесь. Но это было случайно. Но я понимаю сам сейчас, что это здесь не привык. Это некрасивый был. И я прошу прощения, люди в Чечне.
Serbia 2020. During the height of COVID, Bald travelled through the no-lockdown regions.
I was just checked for the old corona. Someone shone a thing, a thermometer onto my forehead and said I passed. I don't have a touch of the coronavirus.
Weeks later, he uploaded a video claiming he had been hospitalised after contracting the COVID virus and could barely breathe, describing low oxygen levels and multiple organ failure.
I caught coronavirus.
What do you know? I remember he was like, COVID, whatever, and then he actually got sick, and what was hilarious is his whole audience is filled with corona deniers. I think he ended up deleting a video or some social media post about how he almost died from corona, and then everyone was accusing him of spreading like fake propaganda and that he was paid to fake an illness. So retarded, dude. And he's in an age range where corona can be really, really deadly. There was a lot of people that were around his age, you know, late 40s, early 50s, that were fucking dying from corona.
COVID-19. Most people have an oxygen level of about 98, 99 in their blood. Mine was down in the low 70s. I was dying basically at home and not realising it. My organs were shutting down. I couldn't think straight. Yeah, so I got moved up to intensive care. And I spent a week basically in intensive care.
He urged followers not to repeat his mistake. The video was later deleted, however, with him stating in a post I found that he just wanted to move on with his life. Belarus 2020. As protests erupt against President Lukashenko, Bald publicly criticised the government. He later suggested in an interview he believed he'd been blacklisted from returning. Quoted saying, "I would be surprised if I wasn't blacklisted. I have been to the protest here in Prague. They obviously have people watching those. I have been quite vociferous, at least on Instagram, about my beliefs. So I think it is highly unlikely that I will be allowed back, which is a shame." Then in February 2022, he was in Kiev when Russia invaded Ukraine and was forced to flee the country.
Well, it's the 25th of February, about 3:30 in the afternoon, and apparently the Russian tanks are going to enter the centre at any moment.
Oh, wow. Bye-bye, Kiev. And good luck.
Weeks later, he was in Kazakhstan with his girlfriend Alina, who he'd met in Belarus. Him and his partner were detained at the Baikonur Cosmodrome after entering a restricted Soviet-era space facility, housing the Buran space shuttle.
There's 2 Burans in here. The second one's over there. It's an actual Soviet spaceship. The Buran.
Bald made international headlines following this incident, although when he was released, he said he only had to pay a £60 administrative fine. Then came the biggest rupture, September 2022, in a video titled "The Journey is Over."
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. It's over. I didn't realise this would be the last video. I didn't know I'd be thrown in a bloody prison. and kicked out the country.
He'd been arrested, interrogated, and banned from returning to Russia, allegedly over comments made about Vladimir Putin and Ukraine. Clips later circulated, appearing to show authorities questioning him over the comments about Putin, and a fundraiser link he had posted for Ukraine.
Два причины. Первая причина, знаете, в Западе, в Англии, наши СМИ постоянно делают давление, что, как сказать, против России, можно так сказать, и особо против ваш президент. И, конечно, это было влияние на меня. Я слышал это только этого. И я был там, когда я был там в Украине, это было очень рано, война. Я думаю, что это сумасшедшее решение. Я не понял в это время совсем подробностей, почему это все повезло. Просто, война, почему? И, я сказал, что я сказал, я писал, я думал, это может быть верный момент. И тоже вторая причина. Вы, может быть, не будете понимать это, но когда у вас есть лицо на YouTube, если вы хотите зарабатывать деньги еще, вам надо что-то сказать, что они хотят слышать, и что люди хотят слышать. Если нет, это будет проблема для вас.
And yet, each controversy didn't weaken his brand. It reinforced it. He wasn't just a reckless explorer chasing views. To fans,
I would hate to be in a situation like that where I'm getting interrogated by the FSB and then I have to like bullshit.
he was a fearless documentarian, reporting from the front lines. Despite some of his statements which would seem to undermine whether what he says on camera is actually what he thinks, fans left comment in support, such as anyone who thinks Mr. Bald is a hypocrite has never experienced an encounter with Russian authorities. He was seen...
Yeah, I don't blame him. You have to lie and bullshit and like just play along.
By fans...
Like, you don't want to be sent to a fucking prison camp like in the fucking middle of Siberia.
As a man who went where others wouldn't, filmed what others avoided, and said what most wouldn't dare. By the early 2020s, Bald and Bankrupt wasn't just a travel channel, it was becoming legend. But a series of events were about to unfold that would test even his most loyal of fans.
And look, even hot chicks in the poorest town in Russia walking past. Look at the hottie. Wow, the poorest hot chick in Russia.
By this point, Bald's reputation was cemented. He was the fearless explorer, the man who survived Chechnya, Bolivia, Kazakhstan, and even a brush with the Russian authorities. But as the headlines stacked up, so did the scrutiny. Because his comments about women hadn't disappeared. They'd been there from the very beginning, and over time, people began compiling them.
So the Greek guys like Timmy think they've got Riz because of the reputation of their country. Today I'm going to show them some English Riz on their Greek girls. Step this way, my friend. Hello. Are you going to the Acropolis? Are we all going to the Acropolis? Yes, come on, let's go and have a look at the Acropolis together. No, bye, I'm with you, we're going together. Come on, we're all going, come on. I'm your new stepdad.
The
Argentinian team has some hotties on it. Just saying, just saying. Next stop, Argentina on the world tour, I think. But I have no actual interest in watching polo. Although watching some Argentinian girls bouncing around on a horse might be fun, I don't know. Did you see that Muslim chick? See the eyes? Hotties. Where's the hotties? Everyone likes the lovely girl. Behind you, you're a girl. Come and talk to us, let's talk. Namaskar. You want to come to a birthday party? She doesn't want to come to a birthday party. But across the road, there's a lady who just keeps looking and smiling. I think she's not seen a foreigner before. She runs the ice cream stand. Maybe I should go over there and flirt with her a little bit, since I've got my condom from this town.
Some were brushed off as trolling, others weren't.
To say that a female rape victim could somehow be responsible for the heinous crime committed against her is akin to hate speech. But I'm gonna say it anyway. We have to accept that whilst no woman ever deserves to be raped, some of them are, however, responsible in large part for the crime committed against them.
While travelling in Syria, he posted this to his story. Me before visiting Syria. Must be hardcore there. Probably going to be a week of no alcohol and must not look at any girls on the street or else I'll be beaten up by angry brothers. Followed by reality of Syria. Guys inviting you to bars to drink and constantly telling you to go to Homs to see how hot the women are there. My kind of country. On its own, some saw it as crude humour, but people weren't looking at posts in isolation anymore. They were stacking them up, like a throwback story referring to himself and a fellow creator as red-pilled young Chads travelling across Siberia, adding that YouTube now only allowed watered-down versions of the trips they used to take. #censorship sucks. To critics, this hinted that there'd been more happening on those trips than what the viewers saw on camera. In a now-deleted YouTube community post, he praised Andrew Tate, writing about society cancelling strong men and suggesting people were too easily offended. Another story joked that Germany was a failed state and needed their old leader and some Hugo Boss suits back in power. When his own mother replied expressing concern, Bald reposted it, saying she was always worried when he was trolling with based comments. He then joked that if she stayed on Instagram, he'd start posting his George Floyd meme collection. And in critics' eyes, one of the more damning moments came when someone accused him of giving off big sex pest vibes, been the same for years. Bald responded, "Sex pest for years? That's absolutely unfair and untrue. I've actually been a sex pest for decades." To his supporters, this was classic Bald and Bankrupt defiance. To his critics, it was confirmation for what they already believed. To be fair to Bald, his response to backlash has always been consistent.
How do you deal with it when people are like saying terrible things about you? When people are saying terrible things about you, when people are making up lies about you, they're slandering your name. So how do you deal with that? And I suppose every YouTuber has their own techniques to cope with that mentally. But for me, like, embrace it, love it, and amplify it.
He publicly stated his strategy for dealing with criticism was to double down.
When someone says, like, you're the biggest wanker in the world, you say, that's right, mate, bigger than you'll ever know, even worse than you think I am. What are you going to do about it?
As these posts began doing the rounds, the conversation shifted. It was no longer just about his videos and dangerous travels, but about his character. And once these questions were raised, online investigators began digging into his past, compiling old usernames, archived posts, and alleged aliases into one place. And what they claimed to discover would change the narrative around Bald and Bankrupt forever. A subreddit titled Bald and Balder Dossier was created with the purpose of doing a deep dive into Bald's past before he created his YouTube channel. Thousands of people collectively archiving, cross-referencing, saving screenshots, and pulling up old usernames, all of them trying to answer one question: who is the real Bald and Bankrupt? At the centre of the allegations is a username, Vorkuta. This is widely believed to be Bald and Bankrupt, aka Benjamin Rich's former profile. On a sex, tourism and pickup artist website, Rouge V Forum, from the late 2000s and early 2010s, a user named Vorkuta, who later changed their name to The Fantasist, posted extensively about travelling Eastern Europe and India. They explained in great detail seduction tactics typically associated with The Game, a controversial book often coveted by pickup artists for its manipulation techniques on women. You might be thinking right now, why does any of this matter? Well, sit back and strap in, as I'm about to show you just how deep this rabbit hole goes. Vorkuta is a remote Russian town, one that was featured in a magazine called The Spectator. The article was written by a certain Ben Rich, who spoke about being fascinated with the Soviet Union as a teenager. The Spectator was located in Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan, one of the cities where Bald and Bankrupt studied Russian, and the same place where it's confirmed with name and photo that he blogged for the Desolation Travel website. In one post, Vorkuta explains how they spent 4 years in India running a guest house in their 20s, matching exactly Bald's own past.
What was supposed to be a 1-month journey actually turned into 4 years. I fell in love with India completely and ended up opening my own hotel in the country.
Vorkuta explains his most successful technique is to befriend the local men, and specifically babushkas, and earning their respect by accidentally showing them fake pictures of himself in affluent settings. This would often lead to, in his own words, by the following day they will have told all their friends, and more importantly, the young women, of the wealthy foreigner who had just entered their shithole of a town, then dropping those relationships and moving into work on the younger women, a tactic Vorkuta called his Schindler technique.
Myself and Johnny were on a bus heading to the Ukrainian town of...
None of this is like, oh my god, Predator. Like I only really care if he like raped a chick, you know.
Pereyaslav. Whilst on that journey, we met a babushka who told us about the seemingly mythical village of Sofievka, a place of cheap land and, more importantly, fair village maidens. Well, myself and Johnny decided we'd have to go and investigate, and maybe find ourselves some village wives.
You know what?
Then we'll go through.
You know what? We're basically the Oscar Schindlers of Ukraine.
Investigators discovered one of Ben's old Russian social media accounts, showing pictures that would match this affluent aesthetic. Now, this could be pure coincidence, but the fantasist also claimed he owed £30,000 in credit cards and bank loans in the UK about 5 years back. There was no way I could pay it back. I decided to change my surname to my mother's maiden name and change addresses, and I never heard from them again. Earlier in this video, we showed bankruptcy records listing the name Benjamin Rich Swift, with Swift later dropped. Again, that doesn't prove anything, but for those already suspicious, the overlap between the 30k debt, the surname change, the timing and the bankruptcy was enough to deepen the theory. Not only that, but the date of birth listed on the bankruptcy records is the 1st of July 1974, an exact match of Bald's passport, which was leaked by Russian media after his run-in with the authorities. Various other posts that were discovered also claimed the user of the account to be around 6'3", from Brighton, married, then divorced after 5 years, with one daughter.
I have a daughter.
All details that mirrored Bald's publicly known life. These posts have never been legally confirmed to belong to Benjamin Rich. On their own, each one is a coincidence, but stacked together, people started to pay attention. Then there's the most sensitive part. In 2000, Benjamin Rich Swift, a construction worker, was charged in a rape case in the UK. He was acquitted. However, reporting at the time claimed that the judge stated his behaviour towards the woman had been appalling. The reason this case is so often brought back into the conversation isn't because of a conviction. There wasn't one, but because online users noticed a forum post describing a similar timeline. The Vorkuta account wrote about being accused of rape around the same year, at the same age, and described the case being thrown out due to unreliable testimony. Same age, same timeline, same general outcome. Again, that is not legal confirmation, but it is one of the reasons that this
Like, who the fuck knows, right? Given his, like, tactics where he lies about how much money he makes and he makes friends with, like, their mothers or something, like, you could imagine this could very easily be, you know, a chick who's getting used for sex, thinks she's getting with some, like, wealthier rich dude who wants to, like, build a life with her, and then once she finds out what the game is, oh, angry, he raped me. And then, you know, if it got thrown out due to unreliable testimony, kind of adds up.
This case never disappears from the ongoing conversation. These identity overlaps made people curious, and the tone of the posts.
$8 why do you get so passionate about people saying bad things about Israel or Jews? Like, you yell at them and violently threaten them to say that to your face. You don't care when somebody is racist against black people or any other group of people that much. Do I have to, like, fucking explain? Like, everyone fucking knows that, like, if you call black people the N-word and, oh, they should have kept you slaves, like, everyone knows that that's just fucking stupid and these people are pieces of shit. When it comes to Jews, anti-Semitism against Jews is totally fine, normalized. And all this fucking shit about Israel being bad, it's all communist brain rat fucking propaganda. So yeah, I get more pissed off. What do you expect? Like, why are you asking me stupid fucking questions?
Made
Thanks
people
for the donation.
uncomfortable. More posts attributed to Vorkuta discussed travelling to poorer provinces where his white god status would be maximised, seeking out provincial seedy nightclubs and housing estates full of disenchanted and hopeless girls. One post talks about exploiting lower class girls in India for sex, such as hiring Rajasthani dancers and using power play to exploit them. Not in an exploitative you must bang me or be fired, but something akin to it. A moral tightrope, let's say.
Dalit girl called Erika.
She was a dancer, actually. And so she came to do a performance at the hotel for tourists, like traditional Rajasthani dancing, you know. And she would dance, and then we got to know each other. And then, yeah, so like that.
Another profile called The Ligurian, which some online users speculate may also have been linked to Bald, was noted for having posts that are shockingly similar stories and wording with Bald's own book we discussed earlier, including one story the Ligurian tells about a 16-year-old girl called Katya he met in rural Russia. The following is a side-by-side of an excerpt from Bald's book, along with that story from the
Replied, and my cum swapping dream was over, blah, blah, blah. She was 16, possibly a virgin. 16 is the legal age of consent in most countries, most territories. It's 16 across Canada, it's 16 across the UK. Legal age of consent in the United States is usually 16 or 17. There's only a few states where it's 18, like California and Florida. Across Europe, it ranges from 14 to 16. I think in Germany it might be 14. Let me see. Yeah, it's 14 in Germany, 16 in Canada. In Japan, it varies from province to province. I think the lowest age of consent in Japan is 12 in a certain province. It's fucking weird. I don't know if they updated it. Japan age of consent has always been 16 or older, applies across all prefectures. Okay, maybe I misheard. But it's 16 in most areas. So, okay. So he followed the law. Like, you can think 16 is too young for a guy a certain age, but like again, you're criticizing somebody for following the law.
The Ligurian.
Katya put her hands on my waist and leaned in to kiss me. A silence filled a closed space between us. Katya, listen, I understand, she said, cutting me off before I could finish, embarrassed that she had misread the signals. She turned and pressed the magnetic key into the slot before disappearing into the darkness of the vestibule where she once collected her letters from Antonio. The clunky steel door slowly closing with a metallic thud behind her. I turned and walked back to the hotel along cracked pavements as the rain began. Burning Edge, Arthur Chichester, available on Amazon. Buy it.
One Amazon review under Bald's book even states it as just a sanitized version of his pickup artist forum posts. The Ligurian also details a disturbing tale of the time he got oral sex from a hitchhiker he picked up in the countryside for just $6 after discovering she was poor and was already travelling in the car with him down quiet country roads. Another account from a different
Oh my god, dude. The pearl clutching is just crazy. Like, why is sex work this weird stigmatized thing where, oh, well, if there's a poor person that you're paying for sex work, you're taking advantage of them. Okay, well, there's poor people who also work at Walmart. Is Walmart taking advantage of fucking people? There's plenty of poor people doing shitty fucking jobs they don't want to do. So why is sex work the one thing where we're like, oh, you can't do that. What a horrible fucking person. Buddy, ask anybody fucking working at Walmart that, like, about how they have to work 8-hour fucking shifts. They're treated kind of crappy by the fucking management. They don't even make enough money to cover their food costs, so they have to go on food stamps and shit. Like, why aren't we all, like, in some kind of uproar about that? Like, if they want to do sex work for money, that's their prerogative. I don't know how you're taking advantage of them for a service they're willing to provide. It's just retarded.
Different forum called Borderland, also widely attributed to Bald, discussed exploiting economic imbalances in places like Moldova, where you could pay just $20 for young Russian girls.
And so I've come here to Moldova to find out why people are not visiting it.
Again, as long as these women are of age, what's the fucking problem? Again, these are poor countries. They would be making peanuts doing any fucking job. Do you think anybody working at a fucking grocery store in Moldova is making enough money where they can live happily, comfortably? No. So, again, I don't know why sex work is the one thing where if somebody has a job that they don't want to do, that they're getting paid little money for, that's exploitative, but any other work they're doing isn't exploitative.
Is it just because people don't really know where Moldova is? Or is it just because it's a little bit crap?
One of the strangest posts attributed to Vorkuta was about where he wanted to be in 10 years. An apartment in Eastern Europe, fluent in Russian, a book on Amazon, an internet-based income allowing for him to travel most of the year, and at least £50,000 in the bank, much of which mirrors Bald's life today. He lives in Prague, speaks fluent Russian, published a book on Amazon, built a YouTube empire, and has publicly spoken about large sums of money sitting in his bank account.
And that took me, I think, 3 years from when I started YouTube.
Bald. Tractor is suspected to be fellow travel vlogger and longtime collaborator of Bald's, Irish Partisan.
Today I've got Tractor on the podcast, and he is a Westerner living in Minsk, Belarus. A couple guys have been there. I know the Ligurian has been there, and I know Tractor has met the Ligurian.
Okay, just a bit about myself. I am from Ireland, from the Republic of Ireland, and I have been living and working in Minsk, Belarus for over 1 year now.
My name is Partisan, and I'm coming here from Minsk, which is the capital of Belarus.
Well, I lived in Bulgaria for 1 year as a student. I was studying with the American University in Blagoevgrad.
I was living and studying in Bulgaria at the American University.
Mr. Bald, I know him very well. I'm a good friend of his.
So, Bald, that leads us to one final question.
Oh, I'm getting ready for it.
All right.
Wait there. Let me think what it could be.
All right.
Did I ever have sex with a babushka? No. Why did everyone ask me that?
If all of that wasn't enough, the former owner of the Naughty Nomad forum later gave an interview, claiming Bald was indeed active on his forums using a Russian name and had paid him to delete these posts.
Bald and Bankrupt used to be on my forum. Actually, he was on my forum before. We used to have he paid me to take all his content off because he was under a monk here, and I think there was some stuff that was incriminating.
Oh, bro, I saw the old forum post that they found about him, talking about what he would do in the Ukrainian villages. Was your forum the one that his name was the Russian city?
It was a Russian name.
Out an alleged forum post which referenced Rehypnol, and later highlighted an Instagram story where Bald made a dark joke involving the same drug. He stated, "If you see this man, do not approach, but call the police immediately. He is wanted in connection to a crime where Rehypnol was used." He later wiped his Instagram, leaving one final post saying, "As I wind down my YouTube career, I'm looking forward to slowly going back to being Ben from Brighton again, instead of Bald from YouTube. If I'm going to be congruent with that desire, then I should remove as much of Bald and Bankrupt from the web as I can." Coincidentally, this post came out on the...
Yeah, so if he's drugging girls, like, that's fucked up. Who knows? Could just be some, like, weird fucked up joke.
7th of July 2022, the same exact day as when a lot of this information came to light on a YouTube video called Dirty Secrets and Double Life of Bald and Bankrupt Exposed. None of that proves authorship, but it does change how some viewers interpret the channel. Because once all of this is stacked together, the alleged aliases, the overlapping biographical details, the debt admission, the surname change, the court case, the ideology, the travel patterns, the turn towards women, the internet blueprint that became real life, for many viewers, Bald and Bankrupt stopped being just a travel channel and became something far more polarising. There is a lot more I could go into, however, I think you get the point, and there's only so much you can cover in one video. But for anyone interested, lately vanished from the channel without explanation. He's posted some truly fascinating videos since then. He documented the Darien Gap, one of the most dangerous migration routes in the world.
Hundreds of us heading to America. We left in...
Yeah, a lot of this is just pearl clutching nonsense, but... Prophet Muhammad and the Sorcerer Part 2. Yeah, maybe I'll watch that later. Well, I think I'm just gonna head to bed. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to stream. It's been 3 hours now. Yeah, it's still saying can't. I'm assuming it's just like a 24-hour thing. Because, like, again, I have no strikes on my channel. None. Content was removed due to violation. Realize you may not have known this, so you did not get a warning or a strike. So my channel's clean, and hopefully this is just a 24-hour thing, and worst case scenario, hopefully we're only dealing with that for a week. But we'll see. So I'll just make a story on Instagram, you know, whether or not I'll be streaming again on Kick, so just, you know, keep an eye on my Insta. And I'll see you all tomorrow, in any case. But big thanks to everybody who donated on Streamlabs, really appreciate it. And I'll see you all tomorrow either on YouTube or Kick. But take care. Nighty-night.